Welcome to Bellagio Poker on the Strip. I am your host, Dallas Scott. My co-host, of course, is John Hart. And the director of poker and racing sports, Mr. Craig Lumley's here as always. How you doing, Craig?
Back-to-back nights here.
Yeah. Tonight's game is 10, 20, 40. John, you want to help us out with the lineup of this game?
He has no hair.
So let's try.
Mic check. I hear myself.
Okay, guys, here we go. So who's that wearing that funny shark hat?
That is the English Mark evening. London resident Mark Hammond, world traveler. He claims to be just traveling the world with his shark hat at the moment, and has possibly the most hilarious bio ever filled out in the history of BellagioPOTS.
That's not. I mean, that's a pretty good companion to take on a racing party, right?
Yeah,
Probably doesn't mess up the game or argue about anything.
Yeah. His one and only dream, his poker dream, to win a flip.
To win a flip.
Hopefully we can.
That's been my dream for the last 4 months, is to win a flip.
Okay.
I would chop a flip if I could. Hey. Oh, looks like we got a hand right here now. Brian Oken, who played last night's stream, has woke up in the small blind with Jack. Not sure what Lance has here yet. Looks like Brian made it.
Knock opens his button to 120. Brian threes it to 560, and it looks like
Lance calls the 500.
Lance is just cold called the 3-bet.
It's always got to make you nervous, right? When the guy has a hand strong enough to, in early position, to just cold call 3-bets.
Especially early in the stream.
Right.
Joe, what are we drinking today?
Knock got out of the way. We're going to be heads up to a flop here.
Should be a good flop for Brian. Three undercards. They're already talking about drinking today. I hope they bring us one. They never share with us, right?
I know, it's kind of selfish.
Hey, what about those guys in the back?
You're still on the clock. You can't start drinking yet.
I will clock out.
Okay, that's fine. Then you don't get paid.
Brian putting a
I would rather
C-bet in
drink
here.
than take
That's
your
fair.
money, right?
Small C-bet into this pot, 580 into about 1,200. Hole card defender number 1 for the evening, the very first hand.
I'll be the middleman. I'm excellent middleman.
So we got a couple new faces this week. We got a couple tonight versus yesterday. A couple new, couple old. Josh Seeley was in the 1 last night. He's in the 4 this evening. Joe Tehan was in the 9. He is now in the 7. Who's that in the 1?
That's Art Palmer.
Art
Art,
Palmer?
he retook his lucky seat from last night.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
He had
Came
the
in
old
late and
the
just
$9,000 hourly for the last orbit of the
Yeah.
game.
Played about 7 hands, won 6 of them.
It's pretty good ROI per hour.
Sure.
Right?
He couldn't wait to get back here.
Yeah. Like these guys.
He was here at noon, actually.
Just one more thing from Shark Hat Mark Hammond's bio that I just think is the greatest thing. Asked what his biggest poker accomplishment was. His answer was getting mistaken for Fedor Holtz while playing 1-3.
Well, I mean, if you're gonna get mistaken for a player, that's the
Yeah.
You should have gone drinking with us. We always drink.
Just so you guys know, I am good. I'm going to be referring to him as the left shark from the rest of the night.
I didn't fall asleep until like
This is in the 3 seat.
Your watermelon juice came
Who is in the 3 seat?
Our producer
British.
some of our stuff today.
Mike DiMichele.
Oh, it's Mike DiMichele, yeah. I didn't recognize him with the hat on.
Yeah, Mike DiMichele is probably the greatest accomplishment ever, right? Outside of winning the main event. In 2008, he took second place in the 50K Players Championship to Scotty Wood. That's a pretty impressive accomplishment.
Pretty strong accomplishment.
There's no game there right now. No, Dropbox is part of
Won
Brian.
$1.2 million for that. And then stopped playing poker for a while.
Well, I mean, nowhere to go but downhill from there, right?
Right. I mean, he said that it was kind of a weird time to win because 2008 was right after the market crashed for a lot of people.
Yeah.
His family was, you know, in a tight spot, so he gave a lot of money to his family to help them out, and he went back to work. He's only been playing poker again since August. Since,
We have a-
after the World Series, he went back to playing.
Think ahead. Think ahead. Keep on thinking ahead. Don't be betting and then get raised and then go, what the fuck am I gonna do for next time?
Sound advice from Knock right there. Think ahead, think ahead, think ahead.
I kind of wanted to just to not call me that last game. I kind of wanted to have straight that game.
Otherwise, I'm gonna slow roll you on camera.
Ooh, that'd be good. Although
Slow rolls threatened.
It wasn't really. Listen.
It was a chop.
Not gonna lie, I like the slow roll. Oh, they're talking about it right here. The slow roll for the chop last
Yeah,
night,
last
where
night,
both players
right,
had
right.
queens.
Yeah, there's a 5-bet all-in with Brian Oken, and who was the other player? Joe Tehan, queens against queens, and Brian gave it the head shake about 90, well, not 90 seconds, but about a minute to roll over the chop. Raising a call here. Ace high, the best hand.
Check, check.
No fireworks yet.
First one to bet wins. Check, check.
That is a pair.
Art has the best hand, right? We got a pair of sixes.
Finally, pair versus pair. Not going to make too much of a difference. Slow roll for the $300 pot.
Or if you have quads, you got
Seat number 2, who we got?
That's Joe Steinberg.
Joe Steinberg, know
Lance
anything
Steinberg.
about him?
Lance
Steinberg.
Lance Steinberg. Can't read this town. He's from New York. Can't tell where. Jericho? Is that what that looks like?
Looks like Jericho.
Yeah. He's a
There's a
developer of something. Not sure
So
what.
for our viewers at home, sometimes we're limited by the amount of information the players will put on their bios. I'm going to say, guys, here, I'm looking, and they can't see it obviously, but I'm looking at Lance's bio, and it's about 7 total words on the whole bio.
Exactly.
So
and one.
he's a mystery man at
and
this
one
point.
has-drawn emoji there.
Yeah,
at the
there's an
bottom.
emoji and a symbol.
We asked 7 questions and we got 7 words.
Yeah.
See, it's like a little box.
And the other part's just the part that you should put on there is just not legible.
Sure.
Joe's got he raises with a queen, 9 of diamonds, raises to 140.
Up front, by the way. First down.
400.
He's going to raise under the gun and win the button at the very least.
Art with the subtle needle. Did you win the head? No. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not trying to needle.
There's a 3-bet out of the big blind.
It's your buddy Mark. And he's going to
Raise and take it. Ace Queen is going to win all the beautiful chips.
You won't find anything, my friends. This is just, not yet, not yet. I'm just getting started. I'll play. I hope so. That would be nice, wouldn't it? Just, be known as
So we had a
that
little little challenge
Yes,
earlier,
yeah, great.
making room
I hope
for
poker is
his hat in the camera shots. But our
Unanticipated
talented
issue.
cameraman Jason Marinucci
I'm
was
not
able
sure
to
of you
pull it
already.
off. So
It's a good start.
no extra work.
Jersey. I'm from England.
Oh, England?
Yeah.
Oh, it makes you bright.
Yeah, that's not a Jersey accent he has. That's a New England accent. Or an England accent. Yeah.
Crikey.
Oh, shrimp on the barbie, mate.
I'm confused. I don't know about you
I
guys.
don't know. I'm lost.
Not like that.
You gotta like swish them around.
You got them now?
This is the back. This is the back of the box.
You want them in front of me?
Okay. Lance opening the 10-9 suited to $180, folding all the way to Joe with the King Deuce. Going to let it go.
And he picks up the buttons.
Joe, what are you playing, like 25?
Did I hear that right? That Josh Seeley sat down with $50,000?
Yeah, and he was just asking Joe, who I think bought in for the second biggest amount, how much he's in for.
Leslie, when does it start? You start yet? Okay. Thank you.
What? 5 minutes ago.
Yes, you guys are live on a 30-minute delay. That is technically possible.
In the Matrix. So for those of you watching home, we do run on a 30-minute delay. So the players were playing 30 minutes ago. We here in the audio, in the booth, doing the commentary, are commentating over top of the delay.
Right.
So we are not seeing the original play.
Right, we are seeing what you are seeing as it happens.
Yep.
Looks like they're actually a little slow right now. A couple raises, 3 bets, take down the pot. Raise 3 bet, take down the pot.
We got in there.
But it feels like Josh and Joe came to spend some money, putting 40, 50, and 30,000 on the table. Maybe they're just trying to intimidate some folks.
There's no worse feeling than making the stone nuts against the second nuts and not having the other guy covered.
Right.
My biggest regrets in poker, almost all of them, are not buying in for more.
So look, we for a while we had a big 10, 20, 40 game going on in the room. I think everybody at the table had about $50,000 today. It was pretty intense, insane game.
The game's still going, right?
I actually think it just broke. We got an updated alternate list.
Jack took my jacket last night.
So I think the game broke.
I think he's 320. Where were you?
So we want to talk about.
Real quick, we got an open here from Art. Very next seat over, Lance with the ace queen of hearts puts the 3 bet in, small, $320. They're gonna take a flop heads up here.
We haven't seen a set yet today. It's early.
Oh, we'll get there. We're known for it here at BellagioPOTS.
Looks like he did flop it though.
Now, King 8 deuce misses them both pretty much. Lance is gonna put the C bet in here. Let's see if Art's gonna peel one street with the under pair.
He bet on the card. We all have money on the cards.
For surely he feels one with a slightly bigger pair, maybe 9s, 7s, 10s for sure, right?
Yeah, you got to continue some percentage of the time, but you don't have to call it that here. Better spots to be found.
Did Burley beat Indy?
Lance has made some really big bets.
They got crushed.
His first
I
open
get the
was
feeling Lance is here to play tonight.
I feel like he wants to get some chips in the pot.
That's why everybody's betting. Dallas, America's team.
Dallas is America's team.
Like I'm America's guy.
Who was it? T.O. that ran out and started dancing on the star in the middle of the field. I watched that video the other day. Gets laid out by.
Well, he got laid out the second time by Emmett Smith, right? Wasn't Emmett Smith?
I can't remember who
I think
it
it was
was.
Emmett Smith the second time.
It was an angry gentleman who laid him out. Fold to the button here. Mark's going to open the king-queen off. Brian declines to defend. Mark's just going to pick up the blinds here.
I always thought
Let's
that.
go to moderator Harry for that stat as to who tackled.
Who laid out T.O. on the
Terrell.
fifth?
Oh, he's already
He's
on.
already
He's
looking
already
it
on
up.
YouTube looking for us.
Very nice, very nice.
We'll get you that answer in the chat here in
Like
just a
Emmett
second.
Smith or maybe.
Jerry
They were-
Jones threw on a helmet and sprinted across
T.O.
the
and Emmett
field.
Smith, they were a little couple years apart, weren't they?
No, they were. I think they were at the beginning.
We'll get it. Again, our moderator Harry's on the
I've got a theory. It's going to become like a nationwide protest symbol. Everyone, whenever they see Trump, they're just going to get down on one knee. But that's what he wants because he's just going to go around and people are going to kneel before him. Exactly. That's just the perfect.
Right, but he did it
clever.
twice
He
in that
gets
game,
people gets them
and the second time somebody laid him out.
Yeah.
And I think it was Emmett Smith that did it.
I thought it was Dean Lineman or something.
Yeah, exactly. He's been watching Game of Thrones. Like all his references about bend the knee, all this stuff.
Joe on the button opens the
Oh, yeah.
8-7 and gets called by the other 8-7.
I mean, you heard his speech about Fire and Fury, right?
Gonna be tough to put much
Fire
money
and
in on
Fury in North Korea, it's right after that
6-2-1
Dragon episode.
all club flop.
Where she goes and
Clubs
burns all
in
the
either hand.
trucks.
Oh, I watched the show.
He just
Might
wants
be an
just wants his
orphan
own dragon
pot
on
here.
it. He can just like fly off to
Harry
North
is-
Korea and burn everyone. Yeah, for sure.
So I guess T.O. scored, Dancing the Star, and Emmett Smith scored, then went Dancing the Star. And then when T.O. went back, I hear you saying it was a special teams guy, number 31. He doesn't quite know the guy.
Just laid him out?
Yeah.
Special teams number 31.
Yeah. You know, was that Bates back then? That was probably Bates, right? Yeah, because like he see, because Bates was like the first guy to make the Pro Bowl as a special team, I think.
As just a special team
Yeah,
play?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah. Just a special team.
I mean, they've gotta have a punter.
What high stakes games?
Yeah, no, they don't count the kickers. It's the best job in the world. Though. You only got to practice like
Punter
10
in the
hours a
NFL?
week. Yeah.
Yeah,
Punter
until the guy makes an 80-yard run back and lays you out along the way.
I mean, you make 400, 500,000 a year. You have to practice 20 days a week. You get 3 plays a week in the game. I mean, how bad could that be? Josh raised to 120 with ace, jack, and diamonds. Joe's looking him up here, the king. I'm sorry, ace, jack offsuit. Joe's got the king, queen of diamonds. Knock is calling with pocket trays.
This looks
Brian's
like it's going to
coming
be
along.
a 4-way or 5-way flop here.
Yeah, Brian's coming along with ace 4. What's Lance going to do here?
5th in. And Michael 6 in with the queen 10. There's not a hand that's out of line out of the six.
The problem
that
is
he's
the flop
taking
is going to be 7, 3, 8 because all the big cards are covered here, right? And if there is a big card flop, we're going to get a big,
all right.
do 6, 3.
We got the straight and flush draw from Brian, and we've got a set,
set
for
by
knock.
knock.
This might be a big one. Checks all the way through to knock on the button.
Of course, he's going to bet. Looks like he bet 420.
Yeah, about half pot. Brian with 4 players left to act behind him with this big draw. I don't know how he's going to play this one.
Calling's not wrong. Raising is not a wrong play. I don't think he's folding.
I can't imagine this hand's getting fired in the muck, no.
Looks like he's pulling
That's
out
a
raising.
check raise to the field.
Unfortunately for him, Knock's got a hand. He's not. I mean, he's got the set here.
We are in big pot territory.
We know it's hard to lay down a set. And Knock has position, which is also good.
How deep are they? That's the other question. Knock's in for about 5K, and Brian covers.
Yeah. John, what do you think here with this wet board? Knock putting in a raise.
I would with the set. I think you got to protect your hand as much as possible right here.
I'm always a fan of the bet 3-bet line.
I mean, and what's Knock putting Brian on? Though he was the small blind, does he put him on 4-5 there to?
That's a smooth call. We're going to be heads up to a turn.
I don't think either play was bad there, raising, calling. Especially because Brian was the 4th person into the pot.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, he was getting odds to call with a lot of card hands.
There is no firework card for the turn. The board pair hard is not possible since it's in Knock's hand.
That's a bad card for Brian.
That might be the shutdown. Although, after check raising the field,
he could represent a set of 6s here, or a set of deuces.
Yeah. Knock's got a little less than a pot-sized bet left if this graphic is correct. Check, raise, check.
Taste the rainbow.
This is potentially a goofy bet sizing. He's going to bet off like half his stack if he's. Yeah, he bets 1,200, leaving himself 1,700. 1,200 into 3,000.
I'm a little surprised we saw a bet there out of Knock.
I'm not. I don't. Yeah. And Brian's not late. He's going to get away.
Talking about my nutters.
I mean, could you make a case there for wanting either the straight or flush to come in there?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if he thinks that Brian has a straight already, Considering where he was at in the pot, fourth person in, coming in the small blind. Why not put a bet in there? Maybe Brian pays him off with the straight.
The one merit to not checking back that street is you give Brian one more opportunity to
make his
fire.
card, right?
Well, no, or
bluff,
to bluff it off, drawing stone dead.
Yeah, or misses draw and fire.
Yeah. Oh well. Option B was taken.
Doesn't look like they have the button game on tonight. Last night they had the button game.
They had the button game on. They had the show one every time you win a pot game going on. They had everything going but the deuce to 7 game.
We didn't see multiple straddles either. They didn't see the 80 straddle yesterday.
Pretty good amount of action already between
Yeah.
the 3 blinds and 8-handed game and the button game.
That looks like an under-the-gun limp from
Lance?
yeah.
Art calls on the blind with jack deuce of clubs. Completely misses.
Check that fold real likely here. Next hand.
Yep.
So who have we not referenced yet? Seed 8 is Knock Fan. He's originally from Wichita. Familiar face in the room.
Is he really from Wichita?
Yeah. But lives here now, but still claims Wichita. I don't know if he's trying to
on
save
his
money on
bio,
registering his card.
on his bio, he did give us more words than who was it? Than Lance.
And he still didn't say anything?
Except 6 of them are none.
Yeah, he didn't say anything.
So
yeah.
we got about nothing on knock. So.
Maybe not can be a politician one day. Just give a lot of words and say nothing.
Folds his button here. Art looks like he's opening the Jack-8 off. And it's defended by Josh with the 8-6.
Let's see 2 8s on the board just to make it interesting. We need a big pot here.
Got top pair.
And a diamond draw.
Diamond draw against 8 high. That's a fair card for the 8-6 though.
That we call the, it's open-ended. It's a double pellet buster, but it's open-ended.
Bet and call.
No help to Josh. Art should win this pot.
Josh is going to fire a second barrel at this one. 400 into about 6. And Art makes the call with the top pair.
We're going to call it Never Lose Art from now on.
I want Art's run good for just 4 hands.
I mean, at some point that's got to be kind of boring, right?
Just win all the time.
No, I can't ever. No, I can't ever say that I've had a night where I caught fire and was like, "God, this is boring, just winning all these pots and shit." No, I can't ever say that I've done that.
Just get quiet, keep your head down, so you don't get murdered by the
Like
guys
I've never
stuck
felt bad for the
Bryant's.
players when that happened to me. No. Tonight's game is 10, 20, 40, no limit hold'em, which is pretty much a staple game here in the Bellagio. We have this game probably 90% of the year. A lot of times we have multiple games of this.
I think I mentioned this in stream last season. The 3 blind mandatory game, when I came back to the room, which was 2013 as a director, was extremely controversial. There were people in my office all the time that how wrong this was, and now I never hear a word about it. It's just accepted.
Yeah.
They really
All the time.
it's funny, like,
They couldn't conceive why we would play 10, 20, 40 instead of 25, 50.
action.
Right.
Greg's favorite words are, we will never do anything to discourage action.
So we got a light 3-bet here. Folds all the way to Art. He opens to 120 in the cutoff. Josh with the 8 high decides the 3 at the 420. Art's going to come
coming
along.
along.
Head up to the flop.
And why wouldn't Art come along? He's not losing. Like, he can't lose the pot here.
When he's got the best hand. I mean, he's coming for sure.
That's a really good flop for Josh. Of course, he's gonna continuation build this flush draw here, and Art's just gonna give it up. There's a lot of outs there. 10 outs on the flop.
Helps when you're up against king high.
I had something to be in the hand.
Tonight I forgot.
It's not mostly though. Once in the blue.
What is Art drinking there? Champagne, it looks like?
Couldn't tell with the
Looks like a beer in a fancy glass.
He's fancy.
Miller High Life. Champagne and beers. Give me a wine stem.
Anything with that.
What's funny is when you get the lowball glass of wine in the casino. It's just, you know, I mean, it's a step above having a box of wine in a solo cup, but not exactly the classiest experience on earth.
First of all, don't knock bottles of wine or boxes
of wine?
Yeah,
No, sir.
some
And I'm
great
going to say don't knock lowball glasses.
Yeah,
I hate wine glasses.
I do too.
Yeah.
And I don't like them in my house because I always break them.
I'm not a wine guy anyways, but if I'm going to have a glass, I'd rather have it in a cup.
We got action, boys. Wow, Michael just made a interesting fold. So knock opens up front to 120. Art threes it with the 2 kings, and Michael just fires the 2-10 straight into the muck. Knock's going to defend with the mystery hand against Art's 2 kings. Michael's thinking no 10, no 10, no 10. Crisis averted. Harry, did I see that right? Michael fired 2 10s into the muck? I'm not going crazy?
You are not going crazy. Don't know what knock had, but he just. Look at this. See, Art can't lose.
Yeah.
He's lost 1 pot in 3-8.
Bug. It's the bug versus the windshield here on BellagioPOTS. Wow, and Michael was on the button with the 2 10s as well.
Wow.
Disciplined fold.
No, Michael is the button now, right?
No, Josh has got the button.
Oh, yeah.
That's a good assessment.
I do think that Michael was bought in for a little less than some of his competitors. Minimum buy-in for the game is $1,500, and I think that's what he sat down with, trying to alter the effective stack size, let him play the game a little bit differently.
So, John, correct me if I'm wrong. Michael is predominantly a limit player, correct?
Recently, he's been playing a lot of the mixed games. Okay. But, you know, he's played just about everything in the room. But recently, he's played everything from the 20-40 hold'em game, limit hold'em game, and up to the 81-60 limit mixed game that we get on pretty much a daily basis. He's been.
He was also playing. He played 5-10 no limit last week.
Yeah.
He prefers mixed game for sure. We talked to him about that, and he said the reason he got into the 50K horse championship was because he had just been running really well. And
That's enough reason for me.
And some people saw him running well and were able to put a piece, fake pieces of him. And so he was like, why not? And they got second place.
That's awesome.
The second largest field ever for the horse championship. Or second largest prize flush is. I don't know what the field is.
Buy-in's always been the same. It's always been 50K. So unless they change the VIG, I guess those 2 things would be considered.
You had something every time it's a button. If you win the button, you win it all.
Oh, there's a discussion of the button game going on.
How much?
So that disciplined fold might pay off. Michael here gets dealt the 2 kings after there's an open to. Is this a live 80 in front of Art in the 1 seat? Or is that just an open to 160?
Well, it looks like Michael raised to 180.
Looks like he made it to live 80.
Yeah, so it's an 80 and an open to 180. Joe's in trouble here in the small blind with the ace staying off.
Okay, we do.
Oh, so your experience, I don't play. He knows how to play.
With Michael's effective stack size, there's no way these two don't get it all in, right?
Unless Joe goes for the flat call to disguise his hand. The problem with that,
No, it looks like it's a raise.
The
Yeah.
problem with that is he's very potentially letting one of these blind players in. Looks like it's gonna get 3 to 600 all the way back to Michael. Let me make sure I got the 2 kings as the earthquake moves the camera here.
Michael's just going to
Let's
ship
not waste time. Let's put a grand in there and run it.
It's such a small amount. I'd rather just go once.
So your
One
Joe
time.
wants to run it one time.
Because if it was a much bigger pot, they would run it twice. But it doesn't feel like it's enough money. Well, Joe's running. Well, he's not dead. He's
Running
ace.
Broadway.
Yeah. Oh.
Full home, top set, 2,500. And that's why you make the discipline fold with the 2 10s. Find yourself a better spot, not 3 hands later.
Think about that. The hands he would have lost, the chips he would have lost with the 10s. He's now doubled them because he didn't play that hand. So by folding that hand, I think it was 340 to him, so he's made an extra $40.
No, he got 3 bet to 500 or 600.
500.
So you know,
he made $500 by not playing. And he saved it's $1,000 swing in that hand.
Yep. Now, if Michael put a chip into the pot with the 2 10s, he's putting the rest in. So
Underneath of it, it's like a side pot, jackpot, and only the button game.
the discussion of the button game continues.
Art's trying to explain the button game to everybody.
Only the button has it each turn. So pretend I'm the button, and this guy just. Yes. It starts.
We had 100, but everybody adds 40. But if you're the first person to add it, it's 100.
Yeah, you set it at 100, and then each person adds 40. That's pretty cool.
And it's nice for some.
Yes, it does make for some interesting decisions.
You know,
So we're going to flop for the button.
it's easier to sell it the easier it is to explain. That's the problem. We need to find somebody to abbreviate the explanation of the button game for the purposes
Real
of getting
simple.
everybody on
The
board.
first person has the button puts $100 in. That $100 can only be won by the person that has the button. If they don't win the pot and button moves forward, and the next person puts $40 on it.
What were the first words he said?
It's
Real
real
easy.
simple.
Yeah, and then he got 37 words in there. And,
Yeah,
I got confused.
Dallas,
You're
it's
confused,
verbose.
right?
It's verbose is what I'm saying.
Whatever the first card is now, is the one that puts 100.
So like they're discussing where they're going to start the button game at. So they're going to flop, and whatever first card is, it correlates to that seed is where the button game is going to start.
That way we just start it now. We don't have to worry.
Wait, that's not fair.
Nothing's fair. Life's unfair.
Whatever.
He doesn't care. You don't care, right? You know, he doesn't care. Let's go.
I mean,
I guess they just Knock has the button, so Knock's going to start the button game.
If he doesn't win, then he has 40, then I have 40, and you have 40.
That's a better explanation. Except that he should have said, and then I win it.
Then I win it, right.
Art's not going to let this button get by.
There's a lot
No.
of ways.
Saw that last night. A lot of guys didn't let the button get by.
Oh, do I have to add?
Militantly opposed to it.
You started.
I just gave him $100.
Yeah, give me $100.
Well, you didn't. Only if
Spotted
you
me
won.
$100.
Okay, I thought it was.
No, only if you win. Like if he loses this spot, it goes to the next.
And then the next person asks. Yeah.
And when it gets to you, it'll be.
My
whatever.
favorite part of the night is when they all decide to quit playing for the night.
We have $100. You're gonna fall.
And somebody's up like somebody's stuck 5 or 10,000. The other guys, a bunch of other guys are up. They start doing the $1,000 flips. if I'm
skill.
stuck 5,000, what's
let's-
another 5 to go?
What
Let's
happened
just
late
shut
tonight
the
quite
skill,
often.
clean out the window. I'm stuck.
And they peel the one card at a time deal, you know.
So Joe's opened the 2 jacks here to 140. Knock right immediately to his left. Cole calls. Art comes along in the $20 blind. Lance comes along in the $40 blind. 4 ways to a flop of King 7-4.
As far as we know, Joe's in the lead with the jacks.
Mystery
It's a big
hand.
field behind him, though. He's going to go ahead and continuation bet.
Knock apparently is so far incapable of showing us his whole cards.
He's raising here, right?
No, 312. Heads up to a turn. Board pair. Pretty fair card for the 2 red jacks.
Joe's got to think if he wasn't hurt before, that card can't hurt him, but maybe not call him the king.
I put knock on the king 10.
580 into 1100.
Joe's going to look him up. It's quite possible that not called him with a 7 or a smaller pair. They're not putting Joe on the king.
Check on the end. Joe's going to win. Nice little pot.
At 2,300 is nice.
Get some of that ace-king money back. Life goes on.
Josh has got 49,000. Joe's got 20,000.
Looks better when you put it on top.
Short stack is Michael D. McKellar. But he doesn't mind being called Michael D. Michelle. He actually kind of gave up on the pronunciation of his name.
Yeah, that'll be a thing, wouldn't it? You'll end up there.
Shark hat in the house. That thing really is ridiculous.
I like it.
I feel like the Shark Hat should, like, there's Leslie, our beautiful producer. Oh, Hank, how you doing? You got to get Hank in the game one day.
I talked to him and he seemed
hear them
pretty
all?
militantly opposed to joining us.
You heard them all say, Hank, get on the list. I wonder why that is.
Oh, the shark hat.
I kind of want to like go out and get one of those for next week. Can I wear them? We should all just wear them on like Friday, Saturday or something.
Shark hat?
Yeah. Hope it works for Shark Hat.
What the viewers at home can't see is we got him on here in the booth.
I love that hat.
So folds to Joe. He's opened the 2 black kings here. Folded all the way to Michael in the $40 blind. He's defended with King Jack and probably is going to get away from this one pretty easy.
We haven't really had any explosive flops like we had before, like we had last night or in the past. It's still early in the game.
We were close to the 1 with Brian with the ace-high flush and wheel draw against the set of trays. C-bet takes it down for Joe here. Non-smoking poker.
New dealer Nathan in the box today. All right, guys, if you want to play on the stream, really, really easy. All you got to do is hit us at Twitter at Bellagio Poker or on email at Bellagio.
Poker at BellagioResort.com.
It's poker. It's
Poker at BellagioResort.com.
Resort, plural, not plural. Or
Singular.
singular, not plural. That's, yeah, what I said then.
Nate in the box. Folded to Art in the button. Opening again, trying to pick up that button money.
Mike with ace 10.
Looks like he's going to defend here. Just a flat call. Gets
And
Josh to
Josh
come
gets-
along with the 2-6. 3 ways to a flop.
Back to life.
Don't know what Art's hand is, but it's probably going to check.
Queen deuce off. Oh, powerhouse of a holding for Art here on the button. Solid 3rd place in the 3-way pot. See if he can get it through. C-bet of $280 on the button. Mike in the tank here. Think about making a move.
It's it's not a bad call here. Josh decides to call. I mean, so often Artwood continuation that with almost any can there on that flop. So he's got to think his pair of sixes are good.
Check, check. And here's the beauty of calling one street with the 2 sixes here, is you have some possibility you get into showdown without having to call another bet.
That is a flag, red, white, blue chip.
Nah, it's yellow. 1,000 bet, fold.
I can't see it.
A little bit of contrast issues here on BellagioPOTS. That's why we've got this nice production crew behind us to fire in these numbers so we don't have to decipher
Matt,
them.
Leslie, Jason, Barry, they do a great job to make us look and sound good.
Takes a lot of work every other week to get the BellagioPOTS on the air. So
It is
shout
a
out
lot
to the
of
team.
fun.
They do a great
It is
job. A lot of setup, a lot of moving parts. And
We have to shout out the rest of the Bellagio floor staff also because
They're working around us.
right, they're doing our jobs tonight so we can do this. The chips are great.
how about those who give up their office for this?
Oh. You want some praise, Greg?
Absolutely.
All right.
I mean, you guys just move in. I'm glad to have you.
Your request is in the hopper. So
Okay.
it's on the
Your
to-do
office-
Well, you know, maybe later when you just want to throw me a bone, just be like, hey, by the way, Craig, thanks for letting us use your office.
Your
Appreciate
office does look like the thing from
A war
games.
zone?
War,
Yeah.
yeah, war games. Do you would you like to
The
play a
Whopper?
game?
Open and a call out of the
Say there's $200.
on the button. Lance defends with the ace-6 of diamonds. 10-4 flop, top pair against some backdoor prayers for Lance. Open to 140. C bets
Oh,
for
Lance has got the
160.
button money, so like, is he gonna try and steal something here and try and steal this bet? Yeah, it looks like he's raising here.
Because what happens when I make it 2,000 and then Joe makes it 6,000 and I'm like, fuck, I guess I will.
I guess I gotta try and win this 200.
Brian's not pulling, right? Lance didn't re-raise him. He's not pulling Lance on him.
Yes, we all do that.
He's not calling there with a 4, and he doesn't think he's got a better. You know, the worst thing he might have is ace-10 there. Now it's a little worrisome for Brian because Jack-10 is a possibility. Check, check. Oh.
I've never seen it in Vegas
Brian.
before. I'm glad it's.
Yeah, Lance kind of has the option
I'm
of
glad it's,
whether or not to fire 3 barrels at this with ace high.
Well, he checked the turn.
Checking back the turn. Declines the opportunity to stuff off a whole grip of money.
Lance is going to lose some chips here.
500-ish. Small bet. Call immediately by Brian.
See, the button was trying to win.
second back.
And the tip for the dealer.
I just don't talk to him. You have a big advantage having a short set. You like the short set in the button? For sure. If you have a mathematical advantage, huge advantage.
Uh-oh, now here we go. Math and poker apparently have something to do.
Did you catch what they were referring to?
Yeah, the short stack having the equity
Button
and
game.
the button game. Especially right now, it looks like there's probably $300 there.
Yeah.
Michael's playing a stack of about, what, 3K right now?
2,500. I don't even think it's that
It's
much.
100% an advantage. This gets big enough, I'm just going to have to go in.
Right, yeah.
But that's not good. You don't have
That's not good. For you,
My least favorite
I'm
play.
fine
I'm
with
going,
it.
my least favorite phrase is poker. Well, I'm going to have to. I have to do this.
This holds 2 sevens on the button.
Yeah.
I doubt that.
Brian's got ace jack.
But he can shove.
Knock raised to 120.
So do you think the last hand there that the button game had an effect on Lance's bet on the end?
Absolutely.
Even when he has a decent hand, he's getting called a lot.
Yeah, why can't you call the button?
But I think that he turned his hand into a bluff by checking the turn. I mean, what does Brian put him on right there?
Getting 400.
Because he's not raising a 4 on the flop. I mean, the worst he's got is ace 10, maybe queen 10. You know what I mean? And then when Brian makes 2 pairs, he's never laying that hand down there to wait and play. If he fires a turn, he has a chance of making Brian lay the hand down.
Michael defends the early open from Knock with the 8-7 off.
Because he has the button.
Knock's going to c-bet it here. Michael with 8 high is just going to let it go. Well, I tried.
One more.
You look familiar. Did you like win a tournament? I'm gonna put in the slot.
Good luck, my friend. Good luck.
I like the game. Oh, nice.
You know,
Familiar, did
no
you
big,
win a
no
champion?
big deal.
I just took
got
second to Scotty win.
Couple
Players
million.
Champion. It was alright, you know.
Yeah, maybe you've heard of it. Yawn, the Poker Players
He
Championship.
shows up.
All right, trivia question for the day. Who finished third in that event?
I know the answer.
I do know that.
Let's see if someone in the chat can find it. 2008, correct? Players Championship?
2008 Players Championship.
Who was
But
third
you got to
place
give them
finisher?
like less than a minute to answer because everybody can Google everything
Yeah.
now.
My favorite quote from that final table was, "I'm not on Team Scotty,"
Right.
said by the third place finisher. Actually, that might be my second favorite quote from that final table. At some point when they're four-handed, Scotty says, "You call me," and turns to the foreman and says, "What's fourth place pay?"
That's a good one.
Yeah. Scottyism. 3 ways to a flop here. We've got a gutter against bottom pair. Oh, just heads up to flop, beg your pardon.
There it is.
Lindgren, winner.
Winner. You're a winner.
Put that in your notes.
I have no notes. I barely remember your name.
Boom.
Boom. Josh is
Unfortunately,
going to win the button game.
unfortunately
round.
against the 6 deuce of spades, it's going to be hard to put a whole bunch more in here.
No! I run bad. I run bad.
The rich get richer.
Yeah.
Wayne was on Team Scotty.
This is what people get out. The levels.
Lane at that final table?
No, he was wasted on the rail, screaming "all in, baby," and things of that nature.
Uh-huh. Forgot about that.
All you can eat, baby.
Lance and I know each other from New York. Like, know this.
There were some amazing TV moments back in the boom era.
I can't believe I remember that much from that final.
I was trying to
table.
figure out how you guys remember that. Like,
It's funny, I remember those.
I can't remember what I ate for lunch yesterday, but
I was actually there when he won it in the building, and I have no idea what happened.
yeah. Lance opening early here with the king-queen off. Folded all the way to mark on the button with the 9-8. Contemplating a play. Looks like a 3-bet's in order. Tries to take back Joe T. Hands small blind from the button. Makes it 500.
Hard to anyone knows that play. You don't score.
I'll start playing it, Brian. Heads up. Let me start it for
No, don't start.
Yeah, but there's a
Lance defense.
You just gotta play it, man.
You are watching Bellagio Poker on the strip, BellagioPOTS. I'm your host, Dallas Scott, my co-host, John Hart, and the director of Poker Racing Sports, Mr. Craig Lump. We are your hosts tonight. Looks like Lance has got the king-queen.
All 3 games. I never played you.
Mark's got a 9-8. Mark's got a middle pair.
So Mark 3-bets it, C-bets the flop. Lance comes along and picks up the straight draw. Check the turn. Pair of 9s. Mark is going to turn up the best hand if he can get it to shut. Lance firing another barrel at it. Gets immediately called by the shark hat.
King high,
Shrug, ho-hum.
9 high, plus a pair of 9s.
9 high plus the pair.
Just
Thanks, Arizona. We are glad to be here. We've had a good time getting this quick project off the ground. Took us a little while. We're now in our 2nd season. We launched in the springtime with 5 streams in the springtime. We came back for the fall season 2, as we're calling it.
Season 2, episode 4. We're going to have like 10 total episodes this season.
2 a week, 2 a week, every other week.
12
episodes,
episodes. John can
season
count,
2.
because the rest of us can't.
Because mathematics.
Our next stream is going to be a 5-5-10 no limit hold'em game on October 8th and 9th. October 22nd and 23rd, we're going to have a 5-5 PLO. November 5th and 6th is 5-5-10 no limit hold'em. And November 19th and 20th is the game I've been waiting for, 25-50 no limit hold'em.
And again, if you want to book a seat on one of our streams coming up, one of those limits is of interest to you, please hit us up in the chat, hit us up on Twitter, or Poker at BellagioResort.com. We'll have to get you a seat. We'd like to have some guests out here to enjoy their chance to play on a stream, which is something that formerly used to have to make a final table in a big event, but now you got the opportunity to play on a stream here.
Yeah. Is that schedule pinned to our Twitter?
One time we were playing and everybody.
So if you just go to the Bellagio Poker Twitter, it'll be pinned right at the top.
That's
Take a look
great.
at the schedule. Let us know what you want to play.
Here, give me the third card.
That's a lot. Sorry.
How about, like,
maybe like 900.
if there's another game they want to
We
play,
still go. I think it's 4 rounds.
we take an interest list for what we're going to do
Quest
for the third
line?
season. Yeah, for what we're going to do for the third season.
Everyone kept shoving and kept doing it, so,
Yeah, we're open.
If you have ideas for the third season, hit us on Twitter at Bellagio
whole
Poker,
stack
or send us an email at Bellagio Poker.
It gets big.
Bellagio
Poker at
Not
BellagioResort.com.
every time, but
So I want to get in before
every time
a
the
player
button got involved, they
wants to play
weren't
7
winning,
card
and it
stud
kept going
because we
down.
don't have the
And,
software for draw
yeah, so, I
and
mean,
or
if you
stud
like
games.
Right,
3600,
yeah. So it had to be limited to flop games.
Well, not 3600, but 100 plus.
So if there's something like this to see on the stream, please hit us up on Twitter. Maybe we'll line that up for season 3, probably after the first of the year.
But it makes
Got
for such
top
connection
pair
because,
against
everyone's.
bottom set here.
You can basically
Flop
double
on
up
open
by,
and 3 collars. Brian,
You can't make a
dings the
mistake
4
with the button
ball
by
off.
shoving it.
Is that our
Josh.
first set of the night?
After a point, sure.
No, second. Not flop the set of trays.
Oh, that's right, the
Josh opened this one early and flops top pair and c-bets it for 400.
Sometimes you do run into
Brian
there.
calls second in. Looks like Art is going to peel a card with the pair of 6s 3 ways to a turn. Picks up a gutter.
Brian gets stuck, might stick it. Oh, yeah, Brian's checking. That's an interesting check.
Josh declines to fire another barrel with top pair on the turn. Checks around 3 ways.
Jack of Hearts and a bad card. So
I opened it, somebody
action.
three-bets me. I'm not holding anyway, so.
Brian knuckles the 2-4, see if he can get a bet out of somebody else here. He's not going to get it. Sheepishly turn over the bottom set, win all the beautiful chips. Couldn't get anybody to put another dollar into that one.
I hate when I win $1,700 pots.
Just that nice. Sats every hand.
Was Brian paying attention? Did you
Art-
see knocks?
Art of all people complaining about seeing sets every hand.
Again, for those of you just tuning in, Art joined the game late last night, played about 1 orbit, and seemed like he won every pot.
I feel like he won $9,000.
He won 75 plus for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
Did he?
Yeah. Effortlessly.
He was like, "This is easy. Can I come back tomorrow, guys?" Sure.
Have you ever heard Brian go?
Yeah, like I said, he was here at noon, waiting for the game to start.
Look at the face. That's the face of a lie.
Right.
But I shouldn't tell him the truth.
Brian with a little bit of the button money to win there. Thinking about playing the 8-6.
Yeah, it's only $140. He's probably not getting jiggy for that one. You start to get $200 and $300, they'll play a little loose.
Art just completes the King Jack of clubs with just the 2 blinds remaining behind him. Michael knuckles his option, heads up. We've got a gutter against 2 overs.
Not a bag flop.
He's got somebody telling him what that.
Art fires the King Jack of clubs. Michael's going to peel at least 1 street here.
10 of clubs would be a great card.
Board pair. Second barrel might pick this one up for Art here. Arizona, it's kind of a mix of players today. We've got a couple guys from Vegas and a couple guys from out of town. Nice little cross section.
Mr. Sharkat from LA.
Yeah, we got a New Yorker in the 2 and Lance.
Michael Michelle, who lives here now. So
This is what he now. By the way,
Oh, Michael peeled another street here with 10 high.
he goes. He looks at his cards when he
Oh
has
no,
the nuts.
Art checks
Yeah,
Michael's
great
bets,
pool.
Art
Laughs,
calls with
interested in money.
King
And
High. It's
then
an
as, like,
interesting
he looked, like,
couple streets here.
because he laughs,
So Art
and
check
then
called
it
when the
was a
board
bluff.
pair came off with
Oh,
just
yeah,
King
yeah.
High with no draw.
King high.
Michael declines to fire another barrel at it. King High is going to win the money.
Michael just did something that I see a lot of amateur players do, and I try to never ever do it.
What's that?
Art declared his hand in Michael.
Wow.
You're a fan of that? I mean, in this,
It
at this
very
game,
much,
this is
very much depends on the dynamics of the player pool you're playing against.
I think this is a very legitimate game.
Yeah.
I don't think these guys are going to take shots at each other.
There's the player pool at this kind of
This level.
limit. There's some kind of gambler's honor to defend. So I think it's much easier, especially at Showdown, to take somebody at their word instead of, you're playing a random 2-5 no limit game with 7 guys you've never seen before. Trust but verify might be a sounder policy. I can't imagine you're ever going to get wamboozled in a lineup such as this, especially when it's being recorded for posterity, taking a guy on his word.
Right.
Besides, who announces king high as their hand and is not being honest? If the guy had said, I got the 2 aces, I made a full house, that's one thing, but how you gonna fib just up to the king high
Lance
from
has the
the
best
jack
flop
high?
here with a diamond draw. Everybody else kind of just whiffed here. Now Art picks up a gut shot.
Folded all the way to the button with Art with the queen jack. He opened and got called by the world behind him. Everybody with cards left decided to put some chips in this pot.
And Art's calling with his gut shot. Gonna stare down Lance for a few moments.
Board pair, shut down.
Lance has the best hand here. He's got some showdown value. If he checks, does Art bet? Check.
Oh no. Seeing all those plus,
So speaking of, I'm going to the chat here. Speaking of great old school TV poker moments, we just had a reference to the U.S. Poker Championships.
USPC. Toto Leonidas.
Great.
Familiar face on that one.
And apparently, and I would have forgot this, Michael D. McKelly ran a deep run, second and third.
Twitter, I'm
That
winning.
was on, I don't think it was Borgata. I think it was at
Was it Caesar's property, wasn't it?
Taj Mahal. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Taj
That's
Mahal.
right.
Yeah, there we go.
Is that tournament dead? That tournament just doesn't exist.
Well, the
in any
Taj
way,
doesn't.
shape-
Yeah,
well,
the Taj doesn't.
yeah, but it could
So,
have
like,
migrated.
Last year, I did a tournament with Poker Stars in Jersey, and it was like a week after they closed the Taj for good, and it was so sad because the Taj has always been this iconic,
Oh, yeah.
landmark casino. In
Highlighted
Atlantic.
in rounders.
Yeah,
of
yeah, and then when you get there, it's just vacant and empty, and like
Ghost sad, very sad.
Yeah, it seemed like a ghost town. Like, and I'd never been to Jersey before, so like I'd always want to see the Taj poker.
Come on, man. You gotta play one hand. Get in there.
Part of the reason, though, is that our friend Tab over at Borgata completely dominates East Coast. The Borgata is an amazing.
Josh opened up front here with the
A lot of
king
pressure.
10 off. Got defended by Lance on the button with the 5 tray. Pair versus pair here. Check, check, flop.
I'm surprised Josh didn't. He had middle pair and picked up the heart draw on the turn. And didn't bet the hand.
Small bet and call. Josh is going to win a modest little.
Now we're back to Michael being on the short stack with the extra money in what looks like it's about 240, 280-ish.
Kind of like Brandon Adams showing up the other day to bacon 50 checks.
She goes and gets it for you.
Let's go to Harry, our moderator. Harry, can you get us the top 5 players in the
It's just always weird when people just tell
U.S.
easy,
Poker
but
Championships when Michael D. McKelly was.
He's already on top of it. You don't have to
He's
tell
already on the
Harry
run.
anything.
Yeah, well, you know. Anyways, viewers at home, we're gonna get we got a great old school poker reference lit up here in the chat here. What's that?
Oh, you
Yeah, we're gonna throw it in the chat.
Yeah, put that chat.
We're literate, sir.
You're right about that.
Michael on the button, not going to stuff it in there with the queen 8. Raise and take it for Art in the 1 hole. Again, showing it how it's done. Effortless winning poker.
Let's add some more money to the button. Again, the button game is every time you're the button, you add money to the whatever number they decide. I believe it's $40 to the button, and only the person on the button can win that if they win the pot. What you see right now is Josh making change. He's taking the smaller chips now, so it's at least $300.
So it doesn't look like a tower.
Whatever.
I thought he put 2 black. He put a black in, and they put 2 more in. So I think
There's tens of dollars into that button, that's all.
Here we go.
Alex
2006 USPC results. First, Alex Jacob, Jordan Morgan, Michael D. McKelly, Dan
Shack. That was his breakout performance, if I recall correctly. I can't remember seeing Dan Shack in anything before that.
Yes.
Familiar face in some of the bigger buy-in no limit hold'em events.
I like Sandman 416 here. We tried to do the button game in a 1-2 cash game, and people were talking about how it's negative EV and wanted to play poker.
Oh, yeah, I did.
That's awesome. Like I told the story yesterday about how 200, 400 mixed game players were breaking the game the other day. They went over to a 1-3 no limit game. People wanted to stone cold tilt to the table by shoving 200 in pre-flop. Without looking at their hands, really the stone cold tilt the table. It's awesome.
This guy's too good.
It reminds me of back when the Sahara was still open out here, and they did like a $23 buy-in nightly tournament.
I remember that one.
I was
that as a tourist.
I was like 77th alternate, so I sat down in the $2, $4 limit hold'em game and bought in for what I thought was enough money, about 6 racks. And just proceeded to put every single raise in that I possibly could, and got no less than 6 of the 9 runners in the game to rage quit the game, because that's not the way poker is played.
Anytime somebody wants to just dunk off chips in a game, to me that's how poker should be played. Correct. You just need that one guy. I just saw a guy at Canterbury Park in Minnesota once, just the most ridiculous thing I ever saw. He bought into a 4-8 limit hold'em game.
2,000?
2,100. Yeah. Nice. 21 racks. He got karma, though, because when he went to cash out, he dropped like 9 other racks on
Should have given him a pillowcase for those chips. We have an early open from Lance here with the ace-queen. Mark second in on the button with the 9-8 offsuit, and then the world calls out of the blinds. For Trey. That is a whiff.
Somebody go spank Knox hand, please, and explain to him where the card is.
Lance is going to c-bet into 4 opponents here with ace high, and is probably going to get it done.
Based on Knox's ability to show his cards, I hope he enjoys the stream tonight, because it'll be his last time.
Wow.
Between that, he has allegedly hip-checked the camera behind his chair at least once.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
But I feel like you should do that.
Button game is getting up there. Like there's over 400 on the button game right now. If it makes it back around to Michael, that's 20% of his stack. That's a huge add-on.
And I had long sleeve.
It's like being short-stacked and winning just the blinds and the 80s in the tournament. How can I fold? There's so much out there.
Sometimes you just have to gamble.
We got another good reference here in the chat from Alex Jacob, who won the 2006 USPC, about his run on Jeopardy where he won millions. About 2 years ago, I want to say.
I remember
that was a good one.
Alex Jacob was one of my favorite poker players. I thought he was way ahead of time and way ahead of the game when he played. I haven't seen him around in a long time. Does he still play poker? Alex?
Yeah. Alex Jacob?
Good question. I thought he was way ahead of the curve when he played.
Here's the important question in the chat for the time being. Who's the guy with the shark hat that is Mark Hammond of London with the greatest bio ever submitted? Above and beyond.
And it's not just a shark hat, first of all. That's his traveling companion.
Yes.
Let's get that straight.
Yes. He says he's traveling the world with this shark hat.
Oh, we got Knock's cards, but now we don't have Joe's. So Knock is flopped the gut shot. Joe defended on the button with the extra money.
The single best thing on this this bio sheet from Mark Hammond, though, we asked him where he learned to play poker, and he said nosebleed, play money, cash games.
Nosebleed, play money.
All going to start somewhere, right?
I approve of this poker career trajectory. What do we think? Is ballpark 360 on the button at this point?
I think it's a little over 4 right now. There's 3. No, yeah, right around 360.
I mean, I'm not splitting $40 hairs here. That's close enough for government work. 10 big blinds. not going to have the green light to open his button here. Declines. The button money lives to see another day. Brian just completes the $10 blind. Art completes. Lance with the ace high just checks just the 3 blinds to a flop. 10-8-6, fair flop for
Wow,
Brian
flops
and
2
Art.
pair. Art's got top pair and a gut shot.
Don't go broke in a limp pot, boys.
So let's slow the action down.
3 clubs and the overcard coming out.
Now Art has gut shot top or middle second pair and a flush draw. Gotta bet that. Action turn.
You think the shirts that Brian here in the 9th seat plays with, they get stretched out on the one side of the collar after a while?
Yeah, I would say so.
You know,
Brian chooses like the best hand.
wow, that's a pretty strong fold of the middle too. Yeah, you think he gets his shirts back from the fluff and fold place and goes, what in the world are they doing to my collars, man?
Maybe they're
He had
maybe
that
just
going
have
for
them
the most of
privately
the night
made.
last night, right?
Yeah.
You just check raise me? You're Ryan?
Guys like to have their comfort blanket, you know, stock position for how they sit, their posture when they play a pot.
Don't say anything, man.
Harry, can you put us a link to the 5 diamond schedule into the chat?
It's on the thing right here. It doesn't have the dates on it.
So we have the 5 Diamond World Poker Classic coming up in November, November 24th through December 10th. Craig, you did something a little different this year. You added a tag team event?
Yeah, we're going to give it a try.
Really?
So
Yeah, we have a tag team
some
event.
success over, I stole the idea, I'm not going to lie.
We,
But it seemed to be
ours is a little
significant.
modified. Like, we're actually making both players play the entire tournament. And we're limiting it to 2 players?
2 players, yeah. Just for,
So they have to play every level. You have to switch players.
correct.
I've never get a pot.
So yeah, so we'll give it a try. We'll just add an event to the schedule. Should be fun. I think it's going to be a
You know
good
what, do you
time.
remember what the buy-in is?
It's $1,000.
$1,000, yeah. So $1,000 event.
Now, is that 1,000 a man or 1,000 for the team?
No,
1,000
for the
for
team.
500 per man.
So get your buddy.
Get your buddy. Come on out. Harry's going to post the link to the schedule. You can call the poker room at 702-693-7291 and ask for Penny or Colette. They can help you book your rooms for that. And the 5 Diamond is one of the biggest poker tournaments around the world every year. It's amazing. Last year we had 791 players for the 10K main event. It's a lot of fun. If you just
You guys
primarily
ready to work? You're going to be busy.
Yes,
Happy to have
I love the work. If you're primarily a cash game player, the cash games get really, really good here.
We got
at the
some
end of November.
powerhouse holdings here. Art open limps the button with the 4 tray. Complete check. And
Josh up top here and a gut shot, checks around.
it's going to be hard for anybody else to put $1 into this pot. However,
Is
Lance with the Michael Jordan suited
Is that correct? Art
picking
came in
up
with the
flush.
4-3 and has the second best of 4 hands. Did I read that correctly?
Art
hard
knows
to
what he's
do.
doing.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's how good he runs.
and he's going to catch a 4 on the river to get this pot to off.
Lance makes the baby flush. Art's going to fire here with 400.
Well, he's got the button equity.
5 undies.
Never gonna win this one, buddy.
See? And then Art called the flush when he knew he didn't have the flush there. Like
Or
last
was that a, or was
Just
that a
to
do you
top it
have
off,
the
it's a
flush?
shot, but we run it twice or something.
First board.
If it's a shot,
I don't know if he
it's
was
like how he's going.
intentionally overcalling his hand while being recorded. I can't imagine he was.
Hey, oh, that's around the waters. It's not around that.
Ruh-roh. Pair of Fijis, thank you very much.
You know, if you guys want to come in the poker room and have a few cocktails, Craig will happily buy those for you.
Oh, okay.
Art's got. I can't imagine that Art's not raising here.
The cutoff.
Art's been very active in this game.
Yes, he has. It's an open for 200, making sure the lance gets the heck out of the way.
Joe defending with the ace.
Let it go, Joe. Let it go.
Tell him how to live his life.
It doesn't matter what I do. Yeah, I know. I guess it's better.
No, it's him now. He's playing Mike.
So we got Michael walking.
Oh, I made it all the way back to you. After the 300. No, some people.
I'm not gonna lie, I thought we were gonna see a gentleman wearing a shark hat play more pots.
He's
I mean, it's just a theory I had, but
he's put a couple white 3-bets in position. But yeah, especially for a guy who describes himself as a fish on a heater just clicking buttons.
80 for the next round.
You know, maybe slightly more active would be a good hope.
This guy already seems like
So,
on the fence at 40,
Yeah.
Josh just made reference of a little over 500 on the button right now. Art thought it was 600. He said no, it's a little less. So it's like 540, 560 on the button game right now.
Josh voluntarily putting money into the pot with the 8-tray offsuit. Lance opened the 7-6 and Josh threes the 8-tray offsuit. Mark with the fun decision in the shark cat here with the ace-queen offsuit. A lot of interesting dynamics, including that button money when the button 3-bets it.
I feel like if you're wearing a shark hat, you have to 4-bet here.
This is a big 3. That's a big 4. 1,600? So it went 400 to 1,600.
That's how a shark plays.
that's the standard.
Got him.
Standard 4x bet, right?
Yeah.
You didn't get me. You had the best hand. I hate 3 off.
Honesty out of the 4-hole.
Nothing like bluffing with the best hand, right?
Correct. The guy with the hat is from London.
waiting for it.
You were watching Bellagio.
Oh my
That's
goodness.
twice tonight.
Start
Bellagio.
It's
I had
on
two
your
more.
paychecks, man. Come on.
Is it? I've never seen the paycheck stuff.
Well,
Bellagio
joke's
Pots,
on you. They
Bellagio
actually
Poker.
pay me to be here.
Bellagio Poker on the Strip. I'm your host, Dallas Scott, co-host John Harden, and the director of Poker and Race and Sports, Mr. Craig Lump. We are your hosts tonight. If you want to come join the stream, hit us up at Bellagio Poker at Twitter or Bellagio Poker.
Poker at BellagioResort.com.
Poker at BellagioResort.com. That one I changed that from what it was originally.
No, you're just chewing on your tongue over here tonight.
Too much sleep last night. I slept for 13 hours.
Wow, I'm jealous.
Dallas is off the clock and been, having a couple drinks.
Yeah.
tonight. I think
Off the clock.
you get paid in not.
I'll never tell. Josh's flop top pair here. Brian's got a weak flush draw. We have no idea what knock has again.
Yeah, folded to Josh in the cutoff. He opened the king 10, got defended by
I didn't understand a word any of you say.
Brian and Nah.
I don't understand a word any of you say.
Matt's talking about how bad the American accents are. He can't understand
With an
anything.
accent.
Moonfia, you're correct. I think you're referring to my friend Dallas Scott over here.
Did I get promoted?
About 6 months
I'm
ago.
gonna open so that we have. If you want to win, you're gonna have to play at least
So they all like
27 games.
Michael DiMichele choosing to wait for the big one to come back to him in two hands instead of posting the $70. Probably a good choice. Josh has got pocket sixes here. What's
Throw
Joe
down,
going
I'm
to defend
glad
the
you
button
do.
with? Joe's got king 8 offsuit. He's going to try and pick up the. Now there's over 600 on the button.
Josh has voluntarily entered 3 or 4 pots in a row here. Not super out of line to 3-bet your button here, but it's just oh so sweeter when you have the little $600 or $700 overlay.
And he's got the worst hand right here, too.
Art just calling with the king 10 off.
Which is
Back
going to bring Josh back into the pot here. He's got odds here.
It's been a lap or so since we've seen a set here. Somehow the sixes has the best flush draw. Can't imagine Josh thinks that's correct, though.
This is going to be, I'm curious, I mean, Joe's got to continue here, right? He's got an extra $600 that he can win on this
Absolutely.
pot. The pot is only $690, but
Yeah, he made a small 3-bet. He made it $240 after Josh opened for 100 or 120.
And Joe,
Yeah,
Art
Art
calls,
check
look at his
calls,
hand.
heads up to his
that's a
That's
good and
that's
bad
a good
card.
bad card.
Yeah. Art's gonna make a stupid error. Joe's
Is that an
probably
official term? That's a good and bad card?
Yes, it is.
Oh, okay. It's a new one.
Oh, and
In a horror show of a river.
Yeah. Josh is gonna be mad here. He would have won this hand. You can't fold him with it.
King 10 wins the money. The button money lives to see another day.
These shipsticks.
Art showing how easy it is once again.
Josh is thinking, I should have gambled this hand. Oh, we didn't know that Art was a singer and a dancer. That's probably his day job. Probably works over at Sapphire or something.
The question is he still a singer and a dancer when he's buried in the game as compared to winning a little bit over the last year?
No, he's out. He's out for this one.
Mike, you lost a hand? Yeah.
No, he was just
Okay, another great quote from the 2008 Players Championship. Thanks, Sonny. Yeah, we went over some of the quotes we heard on that final table from back in the day.
Scotty told Michael he doesn't deserve it?
Something like that. That sounds familiar. There was some controversy, if I remember correctly. There was some sparring between the two of them. Is that
Oh,
correct?
Scotty just never stopped drawing the entire final
That's
table.
what it was. Yep.
He was
But that's why we
Let's
love.
keep it going, guys. Let's see if we can get some more old school poker TV moments in the chat. Some of your favorites, guys. Put them out there.
The one you showed me the other day, like I was
my favorite.
I don't know. Can we get a YouTube link to that in the chat?
Harry, here's what we need. We need a YouTube link. This is my favorite. No. We got another one. We're going to Harry, our moderator. He needs to leave. My own personal favorite moment from TV, from old school TV, poker on TV, was Chow Jang playing Pot Limit Omaha when he says poker is nice.
Hold it, boys. We got
Yes, that
we got
was-
a pot.
yeah, yeah.
Hold on, guys. We got a pot here. Josh opened early with the ace king. Got
We're
called
going
by
to go ahead.
got called by knock on the button. Art in the blinds. Lance 3 bets the 2 jacks. Josh 4 bets at the 1400. Folds all the way back to Lance. Looks like he is just called. The delay is because Josh is 4 bet at the 1400 with a $5,000 chip. They're looking for some change. They're just going to leave the money on the outside and continue.
Oh, great flop for Lance here.
Now Josh is in a precarious spot, having opened and then 4 bet this pot. He's in position and heads up pot. Unbeknownst to him, he is against top set and has, I believe, just set him all in. No, they're heads up.
Oh, okay. Knock is just making change.
Yeah. Now I don't know if that is what has just happened or not, but it looked like Josh.
No, it sounds like.
He just threw a bunch of chips in
Yeah,
there to
he
make the
bet
pot
800.
right.
Something weird happened.
Check bet. Josh made it 1400 pre, C bet 800. Lance check raised it and let it go.
No, because he.
There is confusion with the change being made. So yeah, that's correct. Lance check raises the $800 bet on the flop and takes it down. Poker's nice. I love play poker.
You like that check raise there?
Yeah. I don't know how deep Lance was there, but
You think if he just flat calls and get more money out of Michael,
I
give
don't
him a
know
chance
how
to
many
make the ace again?
warning bells go off when the 3 better gets 4 bet, cold calls and check calls and flop bet on that drive.
Yes, that one.
Oh
right
my
there.
goodness.
There we go.
That's
So you
single
didn't check out
best.
the link in the chat there.
I
Our
actually-
moderator Harry just showed us the screenshot of Mr. Chow Jang playing on the WSOP.
You showed me the video the other day,
It's the greatest.
and then like 2 days later, Chow was playing in one of the games, deciding if he wanted the table change, and did that, and almost fell over like it was.
That's what you gotta do.
Brian on the button with the Jack 5 with like a grand to win under there. Nah, I mean 600-700.
There's just no
What you
pot.
old guys, what you guys call old school, what some of us youngsters call.
Youngsters new age. So it's gone open call. Brian calls on the button with the Jack 5 of hearts, which compels Art to call with the 5 tray offsuit. Looks like we're going to be 4 ways to a flop here. Sam Grizzle
Oh, that's a
versus
good
Phil.
one. That's a great reference. That was real.
There is a very difficult to find video on YouTube of Phil Hellmuth walking out of a back door somewhere with a big old black eye that apparently was given to him by Phil Hellmuth a few days after
the Nugget, or was it the Horseshoe? It was one of those.
somewhere downtown. Maybe it was when the Four Queens still had their tournament down there.
That's why Sam Grizzle's always been my hero. Because he backs it up. Like, if you want to talk trash, back it up. Like, and Sam's probably 40 years older than
Yeah.
Wasn't there something in that scene just reference between Sam and Phil where wasn't Sam singing a song?
Yeah.
Oh, he was singing constantly. He's a chip mover. Some other garbage. I don't even know.
For 45 seconds when he
But no, Sam just spent an entire day of a tournament needling Phil Hellmuth and doing
We've
nothing
had
else.
3 sets today, which is on
Put
par.
Sam Grizz into YouTube and it was the first hit. Well done, Eric. Brian holding on for dear life here with top pair.
It's not a very good board for Brian's hand, though. So Brian's got, it's got to be close to 700 now on the button game, so it may make him call something he may not normally call.
Check,
Oh,
and the fourth spade. King's up for Joe. It goes knuckle, knuckle. King's up, and a pretty goofy spot's going to pick up that little one. How long has this channel been around is the question. This is our second season. We did, what, half a dozen streams before the World Series of Poker started?
It started in April through like the 24th of May or something. Correct. And we've been back. This is our season 2, episode 4, but we do them 2 episodes every 2 weeks.
Yeah. Every other Sunday, Monday.
John, can John and I play the tag team event?
You gotta work.
It's hard to cross book your partner when you're in a tag team.
I'm looking forward to that. I think that event's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And did we decide that we were talking about if your partner is playing the event, you can play over your partner's chips in a cash game?
Cash game?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think that's a must, don't you guys?
8,000.
So you can't share a stack because gaming doesn't allow that. You can play over each other.
Artist just open shoved this button, folded to him, and he just ripped it.
Because Josh is only calling it with ace.
Josh, I think Artist just claimed to have not looked.
He's got 800. There's almost 800 there on the button game. Like, well played. Well played. He doesn't have that hand.
Well, 2 of them. I mean,
Listen,
that's a risky move there because him and Josh are both really deep.
Art's graphic shows that he's only playing about 5,500. Now with that button game, it looks like it might be a little bit more. Button rip. That could be a punt.
Maybe only playing 5,500 makes that decision a lot easier.
Yep, that was the discussion as far as.
No, Art has a lot more than 5,500. There's 12, got 2 yellow.
1 stack of black, now he's got another stack of
Yeah, Art's got
not much.
After 1.
I told you I can't sit here to stand and watch this.
I think he's got at least 7.
That's what it is. I was like, oh, good. Right.
If it was suited, I would come.
You had 8K.
No, some of the time. Sometimes I win.
About like.
It's good. It's good. You know, I didn't care to do that.
No, it's not 1,300 in equity. We're basically flipping.
Yeah.
What do you have?
He's like,
I'm okay with that.
he's like 50.
No, it's like 56%.
Yes, yeah,
It's not a great spot. I mean, sure, if I know his exact hand, but if he has ace 10, then I'm just dead.
58, 40.
What if he had ace 3?
Yeah, I get that, but I don't think he's shoving an 8K with me.
Wow, the meta
Picking up
game,
chips.
the meta game of this button $700 open shove for 8K.
So for those of you who don't think these little side pot things don't change the dynamic of the game, they 100% change the dynamic of the game.
I don't remember the last time in a 10-20 or bigger no limit hold'em lineup a guy just open ripped 200 plus bigs when it folds to him on the button.
I don't remember a 10-20-40 game where the player showed up in a shark hat.
That's also 100% correct.
But it's a very classy shark head. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're right. I mean, it's got a nice sheen to it.
You think he sprays it on every day, grooms it, maybe takes some polish and a rag and gets cleaned up?
He did refer to it as his traveling partner. So.
Probably sleeps it.
That's in no way
pillow
sad.
next to him, cuddles with it.
You think it's dry clean only? You think he goes into the cleaners and is, I'll be very careful, this is my prized possession. I'll be very disappointed.
Does he sleep with it in the bed and in the pillow next to him? Or does he put in like a very sophisticated lock case at night to make sure nothing happens to him?
Yeah, we're going to have to ask him about this.
There's our regular poker player, VSS in the background starting the game.
No, I don't think that's him. I think that's, shoot, I'm not going to remember his name.
Then we're going to go with this
This has gone open from Brian with the ace-9 of hearts, and Mark 3-bet him out of the blinds with the ace-queen. Mark C-bets on the king-high flop.
I'm brain alive, baby.
He's got 3 outed.
And I mean, yeah, that was good play. I had 20 against 19. We don't get.
I'm just gonna imagine that you would have got my 8K.
No, I actually had king. I had
Martin bed.
I'm just gonna
And
imagine
Brian
that
is
you would
raising here, which is a good play. He's not going to give Mark any free cards that he's missed.
It's interesting. The 3-bet was for $400. Mark C-bet for $240.
Yeah, it's
Oh my god, oh my god. There's just gonna be an ace in the window and I get all your money.
Just lets it go.
Probably not a runner straight though.
maybe. Backdoor Brooklyn.
I'm tilted now. I'm ready to fire all the time.
Come on. Pocket pens. Tight pull. That's my dad. He pulls it for me.
Dude, I gotta go now. I'm leaving.
I can't let that thing go by. It benefits the short stacks like me and what's your name? Me and Mike. It benefits us short stacks to have the button money.
Who's saying they're a short stack?
Art with
10, with like 7 or 8
AK.
out, yeah.
Yeah, his stack is 200 bigs.
No limit and no limit. Hold it.
I can't wait for the time I'm short stack with 200 bigs.
Why'd only make a PLO and the limit?
Why don't I give you a hard pass?
Maybe that's something we can do in the future. Around half PLO, half no limit.
The comment yesterday about if we put the Taiwanese game on the stream, that the internet would be broken irrevocably.
Fire it all. Fire the money.
Poker would never be the same
Yeah.
again.
Let's just live stream the Baccarat room.
Yeah.
I had some money on that. Quit bragging.
How much do you have on the button, right?
I don't know. How about it? He's added up.
Glitterman, we're doing this every other Sunday, Monday from now until our 5 Diamond starts
November 24th.
right around Thanksgiving.
November 20th is our last episode. And again, if you guys want to come out, it's at Twitter is Bellagio Poker on Twitter, and poker@BellagioResort.com is the email address.
Good work. You didn't call it Bellagio.
Yeah.
That's the correct Italian pronunciation.
Oh, I worked here all these years. Didn't know.
Fair flop here for Mark on the button after he's just flatted Mike's open.
Here's a cool Bellagio fact that I didn't know until I got hired here. See, you know what the B in the Bellagio is?
Do I know what the B in
Cursive?
Bellagio is?
It's not cursive. It is cursive,
it's a,
but
it's a font. You're saying like what the font is?
how they came up with that design?
No, I don't know this one.
Yeah. It's Steve Wynn, and it's Steve Wynn's S that he writes, and it's the E from his wife turned backwards, and that's how they made the Bellagio B.
Oh, that I've never heard. I've never heard that one.
And Harry, our producers, yeah, it's
12
part of
years.
orientation. How did you skip orientation?
I don't
12
remember.
years ago,
I don't
they
remember
teach
them
it back
giving me
then.
that. And you
I feel as if I would have remembered that piece of information.
You know, this is Steve Wynn's baby, the S.
Because I would have walked
It's
around
his
saying,
and
do you
the
know how
E.
the B was made? But
Harry, here's the question for you: do they still make you play with Legos in your orientation?
I did.
You had a game show.
We had a game show, yeah.
Okay.
so we're talking to our moderator. Oh, we're gonna have Harry. Our
Harry's
moderator's
getting
gonna jump on the mic here in a second. Harry, welcome to the stream.
Say
We
hello
finally got him
to
on the
the
mic.
world.
Hello, everybody. I would be happy to share my.
Speak
Wait,
up,
you gotta speak into
goofball.
that mic, man.
Put that microphone inside
Way
your
in
mouth
there.
hole.
Yep.
Way in there.
Yep.
There you go.
Right in there. All right. Hey, everybody, say hello to Harry, our moderator. Shout out in the chat. We finally got him talking. We almost threw him in the booth last night to join us for the commentary.
Cooler heads prevailed.
I'm
Yeah.
here to happily share my orientation stories with you.
So, Harry, Harry, why don't I ask you, when did you get hired at Bellagio?
I got hired in February of 2016.
Okay. So
About,
you've been a
18
year and a
months.
half. Yeah, year and a half now.
Yes, indeed.
And you had some thoughts of, some interest, if you don't mind me saying, of going to our National Harbor property, but decided Bellagio was your home?
I did. I started working at properties in the Philadelphia area. Sands Bethlehem was my first casino, and then I came out here because I heard about the National Harbor Project, and I figured it would be a good way to get into the MGM family, right? And came out here and fell in love and never left.
Fair enough.
Met a lot of great people, had a great living situation worked out, and it's love and bears.
It's a good place to be.
It is a great place.
So anyway, so Harry's going to give us his story about.
really?
Well, Dallas gave us
Oh,
his
I
story
can
about
him on the
orientation. Where
spot.
he learned about the B. But
I can corroborate that information.
that was in your orientation as well.
That was in my orientation.
John, I feel like I got robbed not having this information in my orientation.
Well, here's the thing. When you went through your orientation, Steve Wynn was still the owner of the casino at that
No,
time?
no.
It was a quick sale.
Yeah, I haven't been there that long.
Okay, all right. But yep, during the
Time. We have a letter B in the chat that said the truest things ever spoken in chat.
Letter B, that's not right.
Letter B, not my favorite letter anyway.
All right.
I'm more of an A kind of guy.
All right.
Actually,
That's just not
true. I'm
right.
more of a C's and D's kind of guy. But anyway,
So anyway, so so anyways, back to Harry, back to orientation.
Yeah, well, all right, sure. Yeah, I'll tell you some more about orientation. Yeah, the B is confirmed. That's a combination of the Steve Wynn S and his wife's E backwards. That makes the B.
Sounds right. I think her name is Elena Wynn.
It's the. Never mind.
I was not going to be so bold as to venture a name that I did. E.
Yeah. No, I was going to make a joke that it's actually Sandra, and she just, fired me in there. But it's just not a good joke, so I decided not to tell it. And then I told it anyway. You're welcome.
Yes, Mr. Fat. Okay, 1993. That is the MGM National Harbor in Maryland. That just opened outside Washington.
The powerhouse poker room, that which is the National Harbor over there in Maryland.
Now, let me ask a question. Maybe you know about this, Craig. I heard a rumor that they're basically building a second level to their existing poker room to make a massive expansion, and this is already underway?
That's correct. So I hope my good friend Johnny Grooms, the director over at the National Harbor, doesn't mind us telling, because I think it's public news. So if it's not, it is now. Anyways, I'm going to say
We're breaking
it seemed like about the end of opening weekend there at National Harbor, they decided that they were going to need some more room. So they're expanding their 39 table into, I believe, 50 or 55 tables. So for our friends there at National Harbor in the DC area, have some more, some shorter waiting lists and more game options to play over there. So they're moving it upstairs. They're going to have some more amenities. It's going to be more a poker-centric area, which also going to allow them to expand the casino into some more tables and slots, of course. So anyways, yeah, it'll be upstairs from the current room. I don't need more details than that, but yeah, so again, our National Harbor property, powerhouse already in its first year in the poker community on the East Coast.
I know they're killing it
yeah,
out
they're
there.
crushing over there. So
A lot of people are even changing where they live to maybe be a little closer to
Sure.
the National Harbor.
Absolutely.
Getting some of
So,
those great catch
so there's our
catches.
shout out to our friends at National Harbor, my good friend Johnny Grooms and his right hand man Derek Comer. So, anyways, Harry, thanks for joining us for hopping on the mic for the evening. We're gonna let him back to what he does best,
John and I
which
have
is
known
moderating.
Johnny Grooms and Eric Comer for
Tens of minutes.
yes, probably half our lives.
So it's gone an open from knock here. Brian 3-bet his button with the ace-10 of clubs. Lance just cold-called the 3-bet out of the blinds with the 9-8 flops top pair.
Lance is just not going to give Brian the bud money. That's what
Yeah.
it is. He's just been taking on the bud money. I think, the big thing that Johnny Grooms misses, it used to be at Biloxi at the Beau Rivage. I think Tato Nuts is the thing he misses.
Oh,
the
my good grief. Are you aware of the Tato Nut phenomenon, Craig?
I know you only from what you guys have told me.
It's
I can't even explain it. They open it like
I
5.
wish you guys at home could see the looks on their faces right now talking about this food item.
This is potato flour donuts made by a local shop. It's mom and pop place.
It's a real small place.
Ocean
those the
Springs,
best donuts are
Mississippi.
in mom and pop places.
Yeah,
for sure.
but they open at like 6. There's a line at 5:30, quarter
Oh,
after
so
5,
fun.
and by 9 o'clock they're sold out. Like, it's ridiculous. Like, they can't make enough donuts for the Biloxi Ocean Springs area. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's so good. Like, when
Back
Johnny
to-
Grooms first told me about them, then he bought some. He brought us some, and I couldn't believe what I was tasting. It was.
This is an interesting little hand we got here. So after putting in the 3-bet, Lance just calling, he has check called 2 streets with the pair of 9s. Brian is fired every opportunity. Bet 1,080 on the turn, and now is faced with ace high on the button with a little bit of money under the button to be won, trying to decide whether he's going to fire a 3rd barrel or not. 4,400 in this pot already.
There's not that much in the button money. It's only like $160, $140. It's not very much.
Problem is, Brian's already put 2,200 into this pot himself. And that is a healthy bet right there.
It's about
3K.
A little over 3K, right?
2,800.
Which is a huge stack of, it's about half of Lance's stack. Brian has 3-barreled this. It's going to be tough for Lance to call here, even though he has the best hand. He doesn't know he has the best hand. He's pulling out chips. Maybe Brian's telling the story, doesn't like he calls.
Doesn't take too long to pick off this bluff with the ace-10.
Oh.
That is a $10,000 pot won by a pair of 9s. Once again, guys, at Bellagio Poker, hit us up if you want to get into this game.
Yeah, you are allowed to gamble here. And as Craig famously says, we do not discourage action.
That's the biggest pot of the evening, I'm pretty sure, won by a pair of 9s.
With a flush board out there, the paired board was paired. That's a really gutsy call. That's a normal Monday night at the Bellagio.
Lots of what?
Games.
Lots of action.
Lots of action. That's it.
You think this is a game? Because it is.
Can I get aces or kings on this?
Got 2, 5, 10 games going right now. 1, 2, 5. Another 10, 20, 40, 81, 60 mixed game. A 200, 400 mixed game.
Bobby's room's going.
There I am. We're going to take that one.
This is what we call Monday.
Won the football game tonight.
I think it's still on.
Here's some cheers coming from the sports book.
I
So
did hear a
going.
big old yell about, what was that, 20 minutes ago?
Cowboys up 11.
5K I would have called.
Art on the button opening once again.
Why wouldn't he? He's won like almost every button raise he's had. I think he's only lost 2 hands tonight, right? Maybe 3.
This is the first raise and take it on the button to pick up the button money.
Why aren't you guys playing? Oh my gosh. I'm going to have to defend against Art under the gun.
You know what you have to do.
Preemptive open limp under the gun to prevent Art from winning the
Did
button.
he just say he's going to defend under the gun?
That is true, actually.
That's awesome.
You'll never get it from me.
That's why I'm so far away.
That's pretty funny.
I'll let you have it every time.
Art picks up $180 on the button, and the guys that are winning and losing 4,000 and 6,000 in the game are beside themselves that Art won this 180.
And 40 of that 180 was his. Like,
Yeah.
Joe's going to raise the queen 10 of diamonds. I like this raise.
Only because I'm a big darts fan.
Josh is defending with the mystery hand.
3 ways.
Oh, Mark's probably coming here, right? With ace 10, ace 7 of diamonds.
Are you good at darts? No, right? I'm not good. I'm terrible.
Got open-ended for Joe here.
All right, me and you versus whoever. I'm terrible.
2 checks. Joe puts a C-bet in for a ballpark of 320.
Isn't that better than above average?
Yeah.
Open-ended's good enough to take it down.
But then again, I've heard how you talk about your poker skill.
I used to be very good. Now I'm like probably. Yeah, now I'm probably average.
Talking about their
Average now?
darts careers.
Good, above average to good, and straight down to average.
They're talking about darts. And one of the dumbest things I've ever done in my life is
Wow.
Gambled on darts against somebody that.
no, I backed somebody who I know is really good at darts.
Okay.
But I didn't know the person he challenged, number 3 dart player in the world.
Fastest growing in the U.S.
Awesome.
For the record, right now, we collectively are laughing at you,
Yes.
not with you.
Right.
It's like a
I did
slightly
lose.
bigger court. And a slightly
You did lose?
I didn't.
You didn't lose?
Because they started at like 3 o'clock in the morning, and they were
Man.
playing the best of 11 games. They went 5-5, and they quit.
I think I have a constructive criticism here. Brian's opened the ace-10 of hearts, and it folds all the way to Michael. With not a whole bunch of money underneath the button, but some, obviously. And he just decides to flat call with the 2 kings.
This is not a good flop for Brian's hand, or for
Well, I
Michael's
can just
hand.
imagine. Of course, that's small.
And Michael's only playing 1,500
Are
behind.
there pickleball courts? Or can you
If he
turn
gets it
tennis
all in
court
here,
into pickleball?
Brian's calling, right?
Can you just like play out from the serve line?
They do it on tennis courts. They like change the lines.
Yeah.
They make a big ball.
So Math has this hand at 48 to
Is it indoor game
52.
or outdoor game?
But like pickleball.
How big is a pickleball?
Pickleball.
That's our game.
I'm trying to find out.
You know,
what it is.
pickleball is the most popular
They
prison
dance
sport.
around the sucker.
And
Is that a Harden fact?
that's true. Actually, that's a Lopez fact.
That's a
but,
raise all in. No. There's a bet of 200 and a raise to 500.
I played for the first time last week.
I think Brian just put it all in.
We need to fast forward reality here by a couple minutes because all the money's going in about 100% of the time. Twice?
Won it twice?
Don't know yet. We will find out. That is
We're all in, going twice.
Oh, that's a good hand for
a
Michael.
fair pair of streets for Mike.
We got a flush shot?
Wow.
Mike was well.
That is
Seven
an
deuce,
interesting
seven deuce.
run out.
Just kings in. Surprise, he has kings. Got 1100. You don't got that.
I see why you don't want to play the button game, Mike. Because you're only going to play good kings. And, like, how often do I get kings on my button? Like,
Pretty
But
rare.
actually,
Every
it's
other
pretty
orbit,
hot.
apparently.
Yeah, twice. A lot better than this.
Brian's ran into a couple of coolers here lately.
We need a new Harden fact for the chat here. That one is aged.
I wouldn't fold.
Well, now the world knows it because I said it on the
Yeah, for those of you reading the chat, that Harden fact has made a presence, made its appearance on every episode so far of BellagioPOTS. Yeah. So we're gonna get Harry, our moderator,
I'll get
to
you
get us a new
one.
Harden
Hey,
fact.
put fire. Can you change that on the fly, or is that?
Wait.
Put the Lego fact up there, buddy.
I'm not playing.
Oh,
I'll play some more.
did they perish trying to break the record, or did they just die afterwards in some mysterious circumstances?
You could be the lucky people.
the attempts that have happened since then in the process of making the attempt.
You guys heard the song "Ain't No Stopping Us Now"?
Sure.
Ain't No Stopping Us Now.
Yeah.
Those guys twice didn't get on planes that crashed and killed everybody aboard. Which you think is a great thing, right?
Well, I almost made a too soon joke there. I'm just going to let it go.
But then one of them gets beat to death, and it's a case of mistaken identity. And the other one just
So hold on, wait a second. So he survives
he doesn't get on
doesn't board two planes that crash
and kill everybody
right,
aboard.
and then gets beaten in the case of mistaken identity.
Yeah, to death. And then the other guy is randomly hit by a car, like while he's walking across the street.
Brian's going to have to play a fun putt here. He opens the 2 queens. Josh just flats the button, and Joe decides to put the $760 3-bet in out of the blinds with 7 high. Classic Joe T hand. That looks like a flat call with the 2 queens, which is the alternate play from Brian getting all the money in with 2 queens against the other 2 queens last night on this stream. Gonna go heads up to a flop here. Not a lot of help for 7-6. Brian does have the positional advantage in this battle.
You think Brian just flats there? Because a lot of people don't like to play big pots with queens.
Brian demonstrated last night that he's willing to do so.
I feel like they got that handed out on the flop.
No, they got it in. They got it in free. The problem Brian had last time was he had 3 players behind him, yet to act on the on the 3-bet. So he invited himself into a spot where if he just calls, he's potentially going to take a flop out of position 5 ways with the 2 queens versus only a speculative call.
Check.
No, Joe's kneeling Brian there for he says, you know you're checking. Why are you stalling?
Oh, does Joe think he has the best hand now with a pair of 6s?
He's got to hope.
Yeah, I was going to say Brian can make a value bet here, no?
Yes.
Should. 600?
He waited just long enough where he's got a chance of getting it paid off as well.
900.
To Joe's credit, he put $760 in this pot pre-flop and managed to see a full board without putting another dollar in.
It checked all the way through.
Yeah.
Does Joe think that maybe Brian thinks he got the best hand with like ace, queen, ace, jack here, and he might look him up anyway?
I think that's what Brian is hoping. Joe in the tank here.
Is he calling himself an
I'm
idiot?
pretty sure he just called himself an idiot for 3-betting the 7-6 free.
How can you fold when you finally get there, right?
Yeah. You improve. I miss. I make. I call.
No, don't play so fast.
Oh shit!
I want to know. I want to know who made that comment. No, don't play so fast.
You're right, Joe. He had like 10s or something.
But then he made a pair, so yeah.
Yeah, he did.
Oh God.
What's that?
You're watching Bellagio Poker on the strip. So I'm your host, Dallas
Peanut
Scott.
Gallery versus Joe T-Hand here.
I'm your host, Dallas Scott. Our co-host, John Hart, Director of Poker, Race, and Sports Operations, Mr. Craig Lump. This has been a very entertaining table tonight.
For sure. We've had a good game tonight. A lot of action, a lot of banter.
Art in the ones, he's been very, very active.
Yeah, I think his highlight for the day is the fold to him on the button, and he just decides
Rips
to
8,000.
ship 8 dimes to win 35 plus a couple bucks underneath the button. But it's a better story if you don't talk about the button money.
Right.
This guy put 8,000 in to win $70.
He increased the stack by over 10%.
Yeah.
Brian's call with the ace-9. He does have the ace.
This is
Oh,
the ace of diamonds versus the
king
king
of
of diamonds. This might be a small little pot here.
And Mark is on the button with the extra added button money.
So this is the second time I've seen Mark in position c-betting less than his pre-flop open. Check and a call of $100 by Brian here. Bank.
Yahtzee.
Is the 5 of diamonds still in the deck? That's my question.
Mark's only beat you by 2 hands. He checks.
Yeah. Now does Brian check the nuts twice? He does.
Now Mark's got his second nut. Third nut flush is good.
Mark is checking back here exactly 0% of the time. Brian gets exactly what he wants.
420.
440 into about 500.
Is Brian just deciding here how much can I raise before that he'll call, or does he really have a 5 of diamonds? He raise for something silly and get there with the 5 of diamonds.
I like Mark's check back on the turn here for this very specific potential hand he's up against. He doesn't have to call a check raise and then another bet. He's only calling one check raise, getting a showdown.
It's like a raise to 1,200,
13, 12. Shrug and a call, probably.
So Brian was the big blind. He could have called a lot of hands here. Yeah. Well played. I don't know if I were Mark if I had to pay that hand off there. Especially that Brian is in the big blind, and there's a lot of hands he could have defended there with, like a 6-7, a 7-5, 6-5, or something like that, with the 5 of diamonds in his hand.
What are you doing, Hank?
I don't think I don't know. Checking back the turn there allows Mark to, at worst case, get check raised one time and get the showdown. It's an interesting dynamic when you've got the naked king of diamonds in that spot, because how much value are you going to get out of a worse hand?
Right.
And Brian plays it well, because if he just leads on the river, I don't think Mark is ever raising there.
No, he's just
so I think Brian gets the absolute maximum there by checking the nut flush twice.
Lance got 7-4 under the gun. Michael 7-3. Josh is probably going to raise this hand because it seems to be in his wheelhouse. Yep, 120.
Joe Tehan on the button.
200.
That is a min click on the button to $200 with the powerhouse queen 5 off.
No, he didn't fold for 240. I don't think he's folding for 200 for sure.
Pair. Good. What do you do when you know it's coming? Decides to knuckle the pair and let the chop straight draw come out on the board.
Harry, for our next stream, the 5-5-10, we're going to hold them October 8th and 9th. Is it confirmed that we're doing? It's not confirmed yet. Possible.
We talking about things in the works for next week? Yeah. Big announcements coming, maybe.
Well, it'll be a Twitter announcement. I would have liked to announce today, but let's get it confirmed first. It'll be a big Twitter. Give him that 140
now. Interesting way to manufacture yourself a nice little middling pot with the queen 5 off.
Does Mark have shorts that match his short cap?
I hope so. I don't want to live in a world where he doesn't.
He has, hold on, did I understand that correctly? He has shorts that match his shark cap?
That's what it looked like when he got, I don't know.
Are they made by Speedo?
That's against it.
I don't want to live in that world.
you know, it's just it's another example of differing priorities in life.
What are you talking about?
Whether or not seat 6, if I can live in a world where seat 6 isn't wearing a Speedo.
Again, you guys are watching Bellagio Poker on the Strip. BellagioPOTS. I'm Dallas Scott. John Harden, Director of Poker and Racing Sports Operations, Mr. Craig Lump. The 5 Diamond, again, we talked about it before, it's going November 24th through December 10th. We've added the tag team event. The biggest event for us last year outside the main event was the shot clock event.
Yeah,
we
so we
got
got 2 of those.
We had 2 of those.
2 of those back.
Players love
4 high roller events. So that's the group that plays around town quite a bit.
We have 4 no limit high roller events, right?
Yeah, 4 high roller events total.
That are no limit holders.
Yeah, 4 no. Yeah.
So there's a possibility that we may go ahead and add another 25K mixed event.
If the stars align, we would always do it.
We have a 6-way flop here.
Queen 10 is the best hand.
Would you bluff me when it didn't show up on TV?
So
I had 7 2 something.
Mark opens the Queen 10, gets called by Cho with 2 9s, and just a machine gun round of flat calls out of the blind button. Checks all the way to Mark, who puts in a C-bet into 5 opponents with 1 pair.
Knock doesn't call. So the only who's calling here?
You should have.
Maybe nobody. Strong. Have the fortitude to fire a barrel into 5 runners. He just buried it. Shaquille O'Neal slam dunked his hand into the puck there.
So a couple of questions in our chat here. Arizona, the Saturday actually, the one event we did add this year was a $500 satellite. So that's about 1 per 20 wins the season into the main into the main event. Sorry. So we did that a $500 event, and flop the quads. A turbo versus hyper is a little faster. We got 10-minute levels on those in the morning. They were quite popular last year, so we brought them back. Those are the 15-minute levels, so just a little bit faster levels in both of those. But both were real popular. The turbos run at night. The hypers run at 8 a.m. in the morning, run by one of our floor supervisors. So it's just a couple different products.
Our floor supervisor, Mr. Milkgood, a.k.a. John Tejada, runs the morning satellites.
Come see him in the morning to jump on one of the hypers.
If you want to play single tables, $1,000 buy-ins, or whatever you want to play to get in any event, we do run those every morning with John.
A lot of ways to win your seat.
Ace Jack of Hearts here on an Ace 10-8 board against Josh's pocket fours. Mark's going to win probably 2 pots in a row, right? And he does.
You're correct. The 5 Diamond not only looks awesome, it is a great event. It is the largest tournament series in Las Vegas outside of the World Series of Poker this summer. So
many have tried, but none can compare.
Well, you usually abuse me, you know. Every way, I was like, oh, God.
Yeah, Arizona, we do have 1K Saturdays. We do have $500 Saturdays into the main event. And then we do have smaller buy-ins, single table satellites. And you can obviously use those. We get lammers for those, right? For the single table satellites.
Lammers.
So you can obviously, use those to play. If you win a $150 satellite, you can use those lammers to play the 500 or the 1,000. You can step your way up into the main event. There's pocket 10s here by Mark. Did he fold pocket 10s on the gun this time, right? Did he?
Well, then they gotta protect their hands.
Oh, next hand.
Two cards may stuck together and they are
So you gotta pay for whatever you want.
it looks a bit of misdeal there.
Right, looks like somebody ended up with too many cards.
I had ace king of hearts.
No,
I said ace. No, I didn't. You always run so good at this.
There's always some reason when I make a big
Don't worry.
So Dallas, I'm going to take a quick break here. Mr. Harden just stepped out. I'm going to turn my headset over to Harry, moderator. He's going to jump in for a few minutes here.
Yeah.
Let's see if we can find us some interesting stuff to talk about.
Played a big pot, you're right.
All right, I'm here.
Welcome back, sir.
Yeah, well, thank you.
How's it going in the chat this evening?
You know what? It's been very active.
That's a good
been
thing,
awesome.
right?
Yes, very much so. It all gets a lot easier when we have active participants. You know?
Yeah. All right. So we got an open from Art on the button here. Lance flats with the mystery hand out of the small blind, and Josh goes to 3-town with the ace-queen offsuit. Can't tell. 560.
Art's had a habit of raising every button.
Yeah, for somewhere in between $140 and $8,000.
Yes. Art's not really thinking about calling here, is he? If he does, he's really got a hand.
How
that's
deep
very
is Art
well.
here? 5,200?
Well, the flat call can't be a thing if he's considering out of position. He might want to get
No, I don't
frisky.
think he was ever considering it at all. I think he's just Hollywooding.
Nice.
Lance going to let it go as well.
Ace 8.
Another honest response from Josh in the 4 seed.
Why do these guys tell the truth? Well, probably because
Joe, you're never going to deal me a winner after he manufactures a $1,000 pot with the queen 5 offsuit on his last button.
So how often does that happen when you 3-bet the deuces from the small line flop a set?
On BellagioPOTS, that happens quite a bit as it comes to pass.
we had 3 sets tonight, right? Trades,
Pairs, flop
fours,
sets, free.
and
And I
jackets,
wanted to bet
jacks.
enough to where if you shut it, they're going to fold it. Yeah. I mean, I was losing to straights in every other set.
There was no straight.
The other was 8-6.
It was 9-7.
8-6
9-7
completed.
deuce turn 5.
Yeah, 8-6 completed.
Yeah,
with
9-7 deuce turn 5 was
I believe this
Brian's
is a discussion
raising
of
with a hand that played
yesterday.
yesterday. Joe's queens versus Josh's set of deuces. And Joe ends up losing on the
That was
other
kind
one.
of touch.
raise and take it from early.
But then he got it afterwards.
Brian here, the 8-6.
This seems to be kind of a little bit of a theme we've run into here on Bellagio Pots, is that a lot more action early on in the game, and as the game goes on, they kind of tighten up a little bit.
Everybody bet.
The adjustment that the collective field makes is to snug up just a little bit as the night goes on.
I'm not going to say that for Art, though, because he hasn't.
Oh, sir?
Always rough to end the night stuff. You know?
Yeah.
I can only break even or win.
I can only break even or win. Very good assessment.
Well, then kill his hand. Kill Joe's hand. Yeah, kill your hand and knocks the big one.
You are allowed to take a break in any poker game we have to go to the bathroom. And actually, we actually encourage you to take a break to go to the bathroom, Joe.
Versus the
It's better than the alternative, that's for sure, yeah.
Knock is in. Oh, because the graphics are wrong because Joe was dealt a hand and was not in the big blind. So Knock's in the big blind here with the 9 tray. Brian under the gun opens the 2 aces. That's in Art, true to form, 3-bet, King Jack offsuit. Harry, you think the 4 is coming here?
I think both options are available to him, probably. That's actually what I was just thinking, whether or not he's just going to flat and try to get some post-flop play going with his ace-ace, or just put in a 4-bet here and kind of reduce the range of hands that he could potentially have, but also get some more money and free
He's
with the
bringing out
best of
raising
it.
chips. Let's add one more just for.
That is a 4.
Art has shown us tonight that he will gamble.
Yeah, he has been a little bit trappy, but
Stack sizes make this one awkward.
Definitely.
It's 1,000 more, and it's only going to leave him 3,800 to.
I think the graphic is off. On how many
Yeah,
chips.
Art's got to have a little bit
He's
more from the
got
couple
closer-
buttons he's won.
Yeah, he's got close to 8,000 or 9,000.
Stu, is there 20-40 going on there?
there's really just not much that the King Jack can do here. Flatting is pretty much out of the question.
Yeah.
Putting in a 5 without at least an ace blocker is no good either. So unsurprising to see him get out of the way with the King Jack. And also unsurprising really to see a 4-bet. 3-bet rather.
Yeah. Yeah, Art has way more than 4,800 there.
He's got 4,000 20s.
Yeah, he's got a stack of
Stack of black up front.
You got 2,000. By 6.
2, 4. At least 5,500.
Yeah, he's good. It's like 2,500 of black alone.
Yeah, we can.
1 or 2 yellow chips that puts him at like
Make me watch TV later.
5,500.
Exasperation from the Poker Racing Sportsbook
Director
here. His little snack bag is empty here. Mr. Lump, the gift shop is open 24 hours.
Those are only $9 a bag.
Uh-oh. Harry, back off the microphone so Greg here can
Couldn't
give
you guys give you guys a free shot to bag on me without the ability to defend myself to our viewers here.
Arizona in the chat is calling Art Action Art from now on. I think that's going to be his new nickname at the table. Right?
I like it.
Action Art. Call him Double A. It does not stand for aces.
Too many dick pics.
It stands for any cards I can raise and have I give action. Art's got ace. I can't imagine he's not raising with this hand.
Stock open under the gun.
There it is, 120.
That falls under the category of any other 2 cards.
But you're not playing this hand under the gun without a raise. Right? You're not flatting here with ace 9 at the time. You're either going to fold it or raise.
Have barely seen any open limps from any position in this game. I think we've seen one open limp of a button, and I can't remember who did it.
Ryan's got the best hammer with ace queen.
Ryan's putting another 3 in.
Does he raise somebody else other than Art? Because Art's been very active in this game. Anybody else under the gun, is he putting that that kind of pressure on?
With ace queen plus, it's very possible. Makes it a little bit easier. Brian obviously not
I didn't
too
realize
keen.
that Josh was in here too with the 7-4 off.
Yeah, Brian obviously not too keen on playing a multi-way flop here with ace queen out of position. Art gets out of the way.
I feel like Lance is going to call this.
Oh, I thought you were there on one money.
Good 3-bet squeeze gets the money.
Brian's been very aggressive here the last round and a half or so.
Yeah.
Be back in 4 betting hands.
Yeah, biggest 3 bags in Vegas.
Huh? What'd you have, Brian? What'd you have?
Don't worry about what he had. You have to pay to see those cards. This ain't good or bad.
Yeah, I believe
Medium
that.
is good. I like that. Medium.
Art is ruining his reputation with these weak folds. I like it.
I almost called you 74 odds.
Now the hand before that though.
Premium? I had bad hands.
What is
every
Pizzagate? Do you know what that is?
time. Well, King Jack is not.
Well, I think
Something
he's
to do with
wearing
his, Pizza Planet shirt?
I think he's wearing Pizza Planet, which is a Toy Story reference, is it not? So I don't know where Pizzagate gets into the mix here. I don't know of any pizza controversy.
Pizza always. Harry, could you get us some details on Pizza Planet from Toy Story for the
Like
chat, please?
what?
This is just a test. Let's play
I want to
test
see what
Harry
it's made
today.
out of.
Let's play test Harry.
Go
today.
on my fool's errand.
No, he goes, do you have a pair
Art
of
flops. Middle pair.
Mark Jenza.
Mark flops cheap. Yeah. Second best straight.
This is the second time Mark has flopped a straight. One time
Michael.
with 8-6, one time with 6-4. This time he's been bet into. Last time it went check, bet, fold. I believe he's going to get a little bit better of a result this time.
Art's calling a middle pair. Ace kicker. He's got a club on the turn. No diamond. It doesn't help anybody.
Not the greatest card for this 8-high straight here.
Once checked him, he's got a fire. He can't get off any offsuit cards, right? Especially on a board like this, there's a lot of hands that can toss it. And you got the added money of the button money.
You know what I've got stuck in my head now is the little aliens in the vending machine. The claw.
Boo. Are we allowed to boo?
Kisses the chips.
knock, you're the button.
Shows the straight.
Almost a straight. One away from the straight. Any 9.
It's a shutdown, apparently.
I think. Don't play any pots against me. I know what straights are.
So we're moving on.
Yes, we are.
Okay.
I was not aware of that historical fact
Add
before.
5 cards together.
Something I'll educate myself on a little later on in the evening, I'm sure.
Don't. You'll hate yourself.
Well, funny you should know, I do hate myself from time to time.
We're only gonna do a time clock again.
There's therapy for that.
Many, many years ago.
Does your wife have anything to do with that self-hate?
Huh? Oh, my self-hate. I heard selfie.
Self-hate.
No. She is the light of my life.
We have a poker game? Carrie's trying to keep us in line tonight.
Speaking of my wife, she's actually going to get some TV time this week. She's doing the
What's this week? The
PLO, Poker After Dark.
Oh, that's right.
She'll be on it the next 3 nights. For me, my thought is freedom, horrible freedom. I don't know what I'm going to do with
If you
myself.
win this hand, the short guy wins the money.
They're so many.
So we got a flush draw against ace high
And
6 high, the backdoor straight flush draw. Lance opened this one under the gun, is that correct?
Yep. And he's gonna win the
No, Lance knuckled. This was a limped pot. Stand correct.
I don't know.
Arizona, you're pretty much correct. You can hit us up at Bellagio Poker on Twitter or email us at poker@BellagioResort.com. Take a look at our schedule for upcoming streams. It's on our Twitter. It's pinned at the top. Let us know what you're interested in playing, and we'll go from there.
And the start time is actually like 6:15, 6:20, but we're on a 30-minute delay, so we don't actually start streaming until 7 p.m. Pacific time.
And all the high limit mix is all because of me. And
Joe taking wholesale credit for a poker game running at Bellagio.
I take credit for adding double board into high limit mix. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Double board Omaha High is the
It was like pulling teeth trying to get it in initially, but like now that it's in, like
That is a game that like nobody knows how to play right. Double board Omaha High. You just get dealt 4 cards and get to see 2 flops.
tough game to scoop in. The harder it is to scoop in a poker game, the less I like said poker game.
Fair enough. I agree with that. I did scoop double board Omaha game with a set of 6s on both boards, which was bottom set.
Just time flop, right?
I was surprised at it. With a flush draw and
This
2 flush draws.
This went to Knock, who opened the King Jack and got defended by 2 players. Lance flops the second nut flush draw against a pair of King High hands.
And Knock turned the nut flush
2
draw.
flush
Well,
draws on this board.
Knock's not folding here. The Lance bet of 220.
No, Knock. It checked the Knock. He bet the 220 and backdoors the
backdoor
flush on the
draw.
paired board. Unfortunately, he's not up against the right hand to get much value.
That's why I don't like giving my opponent free calls. And tips our dealer Chrissy. Congratulations, Chrissy. We had 3 dealers tonight, Janet, Nathan, and Chrissy. Do a great job for us here on Bellagio Poker on the Strip. I'm your host, Dallas Scott. I co-host John Hart.
Hello, hello.
The boss man has stepped out, and we have our producer, Harry, here, who just finds facts for us. This is John. To do the stuff we don't have the time to do.
Yeah. Time collection out of the way, we'll play some poker again.
We should also show some love to our producers, Leslie, Matt, and Jason.
What do you
in the
think the
booth
one
for making all this
Well,
actually go live.
7. Quite good. I'd say it was 7. I'm pretty good. I'm still learning, but okay. Not today.
Stock opening another one.
Another
Stock
mystery.
open, 140 or so. Art on the
Art's
button with
not
an ace
folding this.
suited ace.
Yeah, 100% calling. Did he 3-bet or did he just call?
That's a 3. That's a big 3. No, it's not. 440, not a bad bet. It's a 3-bet, but
It's meant to get the blinds out. He doesn't mind playing the knock. Oh, Lance is calling with 9s. Yeah, I like that call actually. Oh, and Michael's got 7s.
Yeah.
Michael just let him go.
Trying to trick him into calling.
Josh contemplating his options. He's had ace-8 in the $40 blind a couple times. One of them when Art open ripped his button for 8K. Trying to pick up the 600 or 700 that was on there.
9s are ahead here. No, knocks, raise. They got trip fall, flop trip raise.
Knock opens another one and just gins the flop.
Art's gonna try and steal it. Lance might be calling here with 9s. It's a perfect legit call here.
Now does knock check raise the field here or just flat trying to
Well, there's a heart draw out there, so maybe. Maybe he goes for the real value on the turn. It's like he's just calling.
No,
Although he
check
raises
raise the
to
2,000.
Art's surely folding here, right?
This might be game over.
Art's got about 7,000. Doesn't have to go right here. Got 2 yellow, a couple purple. That's 3,000. We got about $2,020 chips and about $2,005 chips. He's surely not folding. I mean, he should be folding, but he doesn't have the graphic on the screen is wrong. He doesn't have 33,000.
Action Art contemplating something ill-advised here with ace high. Finally gets it out of the way. Lance asking how much he's playing.
Take the money now.
Check raise gets it done. Pretty vulnerable hand, flopping trips. So
Yeah, there's a
I'm
flush
sure
draw
Knock is
out
very
there.
happy to take it there.
The worst thing you want to happen is you have the opponent with a jack and they peel off the jack on the turn. 'Cause then you can't, you know, if it's bet, you have to fold there.
I've been trolled by my boss here.
Kids, some people's kids.
Art in the cutoff here, opening another one with another ace high. Called by Lance on the button with the 10-9 off. Mark's coming along with the 7-6 of diamonds. 3 ways to a flop.
What did you have?
7-6.
Nice.
2 pair.
This could be action. We got a top pair.
We got a
gut
gutter?
shot and 2 pair.
Everybody's got a little piece. They're
Pot's
hoping
gonna
on making.
There's going to be some shit from this time.
Oh yeah, when you showed an 8.
3 checks.
Lance likes to take the free card there.
It would have been bad.
Ace is up for Art now. We've got 2 pair twice.
I hope you would have barreled up. You didn't have to, you're lucky.
What a miss, guys.
Missed the board.
Yeah, we got
2
2
pair,
pair
two
against 2
pair,
pair and
and
a
a gut
gutter
shot.
to the nuts.
That's what Lynn used
And
to
a
call
bleeding
big love.
eardrum. 480 from Mark and just a flat call from Art. Lance gets out of the way here.
I mean, they're usually
That's a
like
fair little
6 or
blank.
7 packs,
We might see some chips go into
We
this
know
one.
what's but you put somebody on a hand like ace jack now, or, yeah, it's the only thing you think beats you, but you didn't get 3-bet pre-flop with it.
I mean, Mark has shown us the ability to put some 3 bets in, so I don't know I can't imagine Art's real concerned with. No, just calls.
How much
Just
is
bet
that?
call.
Oh, you just called? Oh, sorry. I thought you raised me.
He said I should have raised you. I thought you were going to show
I'll tell you what.
I think you thought Art raised him, no?
Yeah.
I thought you raised, bro. I saw the big chips. I was like, nah, man.
Should have been a 500 chip.
You want it?
I was calling.
Yo, you're watching me now?
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, Art's chip count here is
No,
obviously
you
wrong.
get fucking tricky about the box.
It's fine.
I thought we see a little more fireworks out of Josh Seeley here buying in the 50,000.
Oh, yesterday I
You know, sometimes you just don't want to have to go back to the box if you lose a couple this way. Yeah, you double a guy up, you still got him covered. It's no big deal.
Yeah, the walk to the box is kind of like the walk to the right?
So knock under the gun here, opening, and Brian's right next to him with the 2 10s. It looks like it's going to. 9's open, 10's call, under the gun and +1. Art third in. This might be a machine gun of calls in the blinds here if it's anything close to playable. Michael fourth in with the jack-8 on the button.
That's pretty. We haven't seen Michael open up that much, but he does have the extra added value of the big money in front of him.
So we're 5 ways with 1 mystery hand. Top set.
Big hand for Brian. Unfortunately,
not a lot else.
Unless Art has something here, nobody has anything to go with this hand, so he's probably not going to make him much.
Knox going to have to call at least 1 street here with the 2 9s unless something really wonky happens.
This is one of those boards, though, I don't mind a check of this top set because it's a pretty dry board. Yeah. And he does check, and Art bets the board for him. Knox decides to go ahead and fold the 9s here.
Strong fold.
Brian's just flatting. He's not even drumming.
360 and a call. Board pair. Peachy little turn for the 10s full.
Gonna check back here and see if Art can hang himself. But then again, we don't know what Art has, so this might get ugly.
Don't touch my card.
Art, you wouldn't have to touch your cards if you put them on the rear.
Wow, case 10 in Art's hand.
Yeah.
Now Brian check calls a flat bet, gets it heads up, and then just decides to lead.
I actually like this play. It's a very it's very conceiving.
Conceiving? Deceiving?
Deceiving. Thank you.
The real benefit of doing this is, especially with top set, it's hard for your opponent to have a very big hand.
Right.
You prevent yourself from losing a street of value with that big a hand.
Exactly. And Art's not putting him on a 4. He called the raise, you know, with nothing in the pot there.
How much, once again, is the question for Brian. 3K in the middle. Art's probably got 5,000 behind.
Like
this might
here?
be a prime candidate for a big old overbet.
I like the overbet here if he does it.
Just move it in. Nope. Looks like it's going to be about half size pot.
200 or so.
18 and change.
1940.
Tough spot for action Art here. No, wow. Very little thought, fires it into the muck.
Okay, so that's our 4th or 5th set there. We had 3s, jacks, now 10s.
Set of 4s earlier.
Just come to Bellagio, you can flop sets right there. It's just flop sets. This is what we do.
Man,
Art did a little below average tonight, though, don't you think?
I think we average 6 per show, so we're not that. I mean, we still have time.
Art thought for a very, very short amount of time there with top pair and a king kicker.
Which also leads to the question, Meg, if you call the turn with that hand and the river doesn't improve, Why are you folding on the river?
I mean, Brian provides a narrative of a strong hand there. You know, Art just straight up believed him. Jay Reno, come on the show. You're more than welcome.
You want to be on the show, hit us on Twitter at BellagioPOTS or poker at BellagioResort.com on the email. Our next stream is October 8th and 9th. It's a 5-5-10 no limit hold'em game. October 22nd and 23rd, we have a 5-5 PLO game with a 500 minimum buy-in, 3,000 max buy-in. November 5th and 6th, we have a 5-5-10 no limit hold'em game. And November 19th and 20th, we have a 25-50 no limit hold'em game. 2,000 minimum buy-in, $1 billion max.
So Josh has put a 3-bet in to try and pick up this button money with the Jack Trey offsuit. After Lance opened Queen Jack offsuit, not thinking about continuing in this one with the Ace-5 of spades out of the blinds.
Because they know that it's possible that he's just raising, trying to pick up some extra money out the
Not
button.
just cold 4-bet his $40 blind at $1,280. Picks up the money, no sweat.
He put Lance on the, or
Put
Josh
on the light 3
yep.
on the button.
Oh, he's trying to take it with his button money.
Astute play, pick up your
Joe, I'm gonna post you small one.
pick up about 600 in dead money.
I'm done.
That's
Yeah,
looking
they got,
like a tower of money there underneath the button.
I think it's close to about. There's
Live 80 is on, ladies and gentlemen.
wow.
Action art. Is he aware of this nickname yet?
How much we got there on the button game?
I think it's about
black chip?
400. Yeah, I think it's about 400.
About 400?
Jay Reno, I'm sure we can get you a game.
Mark on the button when the live 80 folds to him, opening up the 7-5. Looks like a $400 open.
Joe actually has a hand here.
Bottom pair, barrel on.
Again, are they sniffing out this button? Yeah, they're sniffing out the button.
Just flats the 4.
Can you keep playing if we won?
Yes, we never discourage action, guys. Keep playing as long as you want. Amazing thing, like,
Are you just here for the thing?
we get this question a lot here. When do we close?
When the Waffle House closes.
Art wakes up in the live 80 with 2 5s. Just elects to call.
We're gonna keep on playing.
But we see that
Joe's going to make the best hand here.
he's drawing the 1-5. Because Mark's
We can't leave what he's saying.
Hey, we're gonna leave it 8-handed though, yeah?
I'm leaving with his chips. I'm just.
Mark
We'll leave it
is trying to represent an ace. I'm just going to get out of the way here.
Maybe we'll play one more time.
Bomb pots? We should play some bomb pots.
Bomb pots, yeah. So for those of you who don't know, bomb parts are
Parts?
Did I say parts?
Yeah. What's your first language?
Actually, it's Dutch, but that's fine.
Check, turn after Mark puts 1 C-bet in.
Don't worry, I'm buried too.
It's got to be a
And the 11
back.
Never seen that man run that fast.
No, so we just got word they're done. They're done for the night in real time.
We got half
We're
an
gonna
hour or
finish the stream.
so.
We got about a half an hour left.
Yeah, I know.
So bomb pots. Bomb pots.
One for 3.
Everybody decides to put in whatever they agreed to, 100, 200 bucks, whatever.
It's just
And-
dead money in the pot, right?
Yeah.
You go straight to the flop?
Go straight to the flop, and then we play after the flop.
We did one with the Nini 5-5-10 game, right? They had at least one bomb pot.
Yeah.
So I got lucky. I would have lost.
$420 is the number on the button.
Total hit, over, under?
Under.
Let's pay for it.
Obviously, and I missed it. I
Man.
knew it was coming.
Lance, second time this orbit, opening the Queen Jack off.
Well, neutral.
You would have only done 46.
Well, you would have won, but I'm saying, like, it's been a bad bet.
Joe being a little deliberate.
Looks like he's 3-betting here.
He announces raise.
220.
Knock's done paying 100 every time you're the button. Call him.
That's another click back.
Knock calls
Second time
210.
he's done this on his button is put the min raise 3-bet in.
Knock calls 9-10 of diamonds.
Art shrugs and puts some money in with a pair of napkins.
15 bets.
You gotta love Art's action here.
They like us.
I'm just trying to keep you guys on those lines there.
Jack.
We don't know what Joe
got
has.
Brian out.
No one has
You
found a
guys
piece.
remember the old nickname for Art's hand?
They took me.
Flat tire.
Flat tire.
Flat tire.
What's my $9? $9.
Fold.
That is a full pot.
$9.
Take the money,
Shift the
Buffy.
button game, guys. Goddamn. Shift the button.
Shows a bluff there, apparently. Yeah.
I mean, it's painful.
I had him
to watch.
dominated.
It's painful to watch.
4 deuce.
Painful.
I had you dominated.
Min
Jack
click
four
3-bet. C-bet into 3 opponents. Win all the money.
I did have Jack high.
Nice line.
Remember when you had ace high and you didn't do shit?
And then berate opponents.
I mean, it could have been.
I mean, if you can't win, if you're playing the button game, you got to be able to talk trash, right? Like, I mean, that's, I mean,
I would have called like 200. They bet 900. You know what I mean? Yeah.
All the way to knock on the button here with his own money to win and nothing else underneath it.
$40. He doesn't care about it.
It's 100. First guy puts up 100.
Oh, that's right. You're
Yeah.
right. You're right.
Fold all the way to Art. Looks like he's
got
going to
Jack four
complete
off,
the
so
Jack
they
4
can't,
again.
You don't. You try and try again, right?
Yeah. Cheapest pot will play all night right now. Pair of 8s for Lance.
Art's going to be
Firing into Lance with top pair, top kicker. It's a $60 bet that was min raised. This is cute. Trips against Jack High. Check, check. And fills up against what remains Jack High. Tough to get $1 out of Art in this spot.
I think you could bet 300 and accomplish the same thing.
Looks at it again to make sure it didn't change.
Maybe not. I guess people might call you like.
I mean, I really want to discourage like the 6s.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Which is like a big part of the range. Like 5, 6, and 8.
He would have
one card.
I would have
You know.
You would have got 4.
And I'm like one and done there. If they call me, I'm like, you got it.
You got to call him Hollywood action.
This is a lot of save and face here.
Unless it comes to 3-5, like, you probably got it.
No, you are not allowed to touch another player's cards.
You know.
I'm not just dead sure Lance was entirely comfortable with Art killing his own hand in that way. There was no place that pot was going other than seat number 2 after Art does that, but I don't think Lance was quite aware.
Yeah, as Craig explained last night, that might get you kicked out of the card.
For the night.
I keep forgetting the tip.
You come back and do it tomorrow.
You can kick that again for the night.
No, they call too.
To
They
learn to
pass
stop.
the test. Like sometimes you gotta put it into the test, and when they pass the test,
Test is over.
test
My
is
test
over.
is always.
What about the final
I'm just
exam?
letting you know, my test is always going to be 3 bullets. It's never going to be 2 bullets.
Well, unless.
Unless you raise me.
Josh raised it. He was flat before. He raised 120.
Stock open.
Call.
Shows flats.
10 of clubs. In position on Josh. I can't. Art just folded.
Art, this is a misdeal. Art found a fold with the ace high. Way too big a hand for him to play.
Big one.
But when I do,
This is going to be an interesting one. We've got the
glad he folded
gutter.
now.
We got the gutter against the flush draw against middle set.
This could be a pot.
no, but you can do that.
Alright, I'm going to bet 250.
Dude, you have so many small chips.
You want to bet 240 or 260?
You have 1K
Pick
chip.
one or the other.
260.
You bet your 1K chip and break it.
I don't know. 250 is it?
260, you said?
Yeah.
260.
No, he said 250.
Then why were you complaining?
Listen.
Oh, look, yeah.
Oh, if it goes 240, I'm happy about it. 260.
Alright, well, there you go.
Lance is of course calling here, right? Maybe something like raise, nice calling.
That call.
What about something like the 7 of spades on the turn, King of spades?
Yeah, sure, if you put it in the orange chips. Too late.
I don't
She's
want
there,
to,
right?
because then I have nothing. It's hard to protect her.
Oh, you're not going to win this month. Okay.
No, it's hard to protect her. Like, when I lift him, I don't want people to see.
Josh making the argument that he doesn't want to bet the mountain of chips he has because it uses them to protect his hand when he squeezes it. That is a blank for all three players. And a hip check of the camera. That is a over chip bet the full amount.
This is
Oh, Joe's got 6 outs. So that's
he's got a 9 or a king. He's got the double belly button.
Yeah.
And Lance still has spades.
Joe in the tank here, contemplating his options.
He'll let it go. Wow.
Wow. A lot of respect.
What is it? Wasn't good for me.
What do you think they put Josh on if they folded there? I mean, clearly they're both drawing to nut hands there. I mean, well, I guess 9 high flush is not a nut hand, but we know would have been the best flush.
It's the other half of the question is what their perceived value if they do make their hand is against if Josh hand is face up there. If he just has jacks plus, either a overpair or a set there. Maybe you don't have much confidence that Josh is going to pay off a value bet on the end if you do make your hand.
Brandon, I agree. I thought more money was going in that pot. Oh, Art didn't fold the ace this time.
Michael
Certainly not with the button equity, right?
Yeah. Michael in a good spot to put a squeeze in here. It looks like he might be pulling the trigger. Rips it.
All in?
Yeah.
1,700.
Are you stuck? Yeah, I'm stuck. Where are you from? London. Okay.
He should get through here.
I know it's the most random question ever, but I've met so many people from London.
Art's Jim counted wrong. He was closer to 8,000.
Pinky? Of course I know Pinky. Like,
In this particular pot,
Not real relevant.
Art's just trying to decide
If he's being squeezed.
if Michael is capable of the squeeze here, which, well, as we can tell, he 100%
call
is.
me the greatest form of prop gambling ever. Which is,
It's kind of a waste of a good hand for the squeeze
Joe's
play
talking
there.
about the greatest form of prop gambling ever. I'm curious what that is.
Yeah. You get a really good guy. Really good guy. We played like Ryan, you're a really good player. Good player. But only when he's tough.
Craig, how do you feel about prop
Yeah.
bets in poker games?
Anyways, I'm just one of these days.
What do you think? How do you think I feel?
Like you should get some rake?
No, I feel like we don't
One
disprove
of
Jack.
these days.
One of these days, I met somebody from London.
London's a pretty big city.
Yeah, I did.
I know, yeah, I know.
There we go. Another obvious statement tonight. London's a pretty big city.
Really? Yeah.
But it was
here.
It was in Virginia.
Ryan calls the king of the diamonds.
That's an open.
The guy wasn't go Pinky either.
Oh, he raised the
was.
140. That makes a little more
But
sense.
because he was like tall and lanky.
And he
Raise and take.
chatty table tonight. I like it. Little trash talk.
There's a little bit of everything.
Well, Brian
Conversation.
just plays until he's not losing it. He just keeps going.
That's true. Brian will play every 6 years.
I'm not losing, and it's just not working. I'm trying to make this 10K back this like yesterday. I just keep playing. It's not coming back. But Brian, for some reason, paid up. Oh yeah, so cocky, yeah.
Uh-oh, Art's starting to tighten up here a little bit, guys.
You need to fold to Michael on the button with the ace-8. With the button money available to be picked up.
Okay, Michael's only raised 2 hands in the button, and they were both pocket kings.
Yeah.
Is he going to get some respect here?
See what Joe's got to defend with. Plenty, jack high. Problem is, there's not a whole bunch of money for Joe to win here if he peels with the jack 6 off.
Michael's only playing
Every
1,800
time I
effective
bet,
stack
it's been
here.
my jack 6 off. I've had to absolutely, and then I get 4 bet, and I have to do it. And I think about calling 4 bet.
Merry Christmas. I don't want to take it. Take it.
Joe's like, it's not worth it. Congratulations.
I mean, you win the button and that's pretty sweet. I know.
What do you think about antes and cash games?
Slow the game down. Good for the game.
Yeah, probably slow the game down, but yeah, good for the game potentially. But what do you guys think about the
big blind ante?
what our friends have done over at Ario with the big blind ante?
I wish they could take credit for that, but that started here. Our big limit players, they started doing the big.
Oh, I'm talking about tournaments. They've
on the
mastered
tournament.
it.
Yeah. Because we started in our cash games here, where the button was anteing for everybody, then it became the big blind was anteing for everybody. It really does speed the game up quite a bit.
Sure.
But I like the idea of the antes. Just, I think it gives people a little more to play for, a little more, causes a lot more action.
Sure. Do you like the big blind ante though?
I like the button ante.
Well, but you don't always go button.
Yeah, tournaments you have a
Oh, right. I thought we were still talking about our cash game, but like for the
No, I'm talking about
Same problem.
the big blind ante in tournaments. I think it's first. I think they did a good job kind of perfecting it for tournaments. I think it's coming down the pipeline for sure.
Again?
Excuse me, I should say increasing in popularity moving forward.
Lance opens first in, ace-4 of spades. Josh calls the button with jack 10 and flops a gutter. Joe has middle pair in the blinds. And Joe just leads.
Why not? He's got a pair. It's hard to make a pair in this game.
Oh, no. Josh led flop. No, Joe led flop, yeah. Huh.
I think having the blind, put the ante up for everybody, creates a very interesting dynamic for short stacks.
Sure.
Because instead of now having 8, 9, 10 hands to put those antes out, now you're putting out that ante
all at
when
once,
yeah.
all one time. Sure.
There's no penalty in folding those middle position hands,
right,
and waiting until you win more money if you wait until you fold and you're under the gun,
right,
and then you pick up a big hand and you double throw.
Right.
Sure. Yeah.
Now you're the short.
Do you think does that actually create a significant change in the game? I mean, obviously it does, but is it just something you adapt to?
I think it's a tiny advantage to a guy that's short, as far as his decisions.
I think
I've got 8 big. Should I rip this king X
especially
offsuit?
if we're at a point where a table full of antes is a big blind.
I'd probably, yeah.
Or a small blind, you know what I mean? If you're playing, even at the 1-2 level, 1, 2 1/4 level.
Oh, we're talking cash game?
No, even in tournaments.
Okay.
1, 2, 25, 1 and 2. That's a blind and a half. Big blind and a half over the table. So as you're going up, it makes a huge difference if you have a 10 blind hand or a 15 blind hand. And then you have to put in an extra blind, so to speak, in the big blind. It has to completely open up your range a lot more than it would normally.
Are you saying? I mean, the antes are the same that are in the pot, no matter who posts them? Are you making the argument of antes in a poker in a tournament versus no antes in a tournament? Or are you talking about individual antes?
Individual. No. So if the big blind is posting the ante for the entire table, that could be the equivalent of a big blind for him or more.
Yeah.
That makes a huge difference on how that short stack plays that hand.
Yeah.
It has to open up his range to play hands that he maybe wouldn't want to play.
Are you talking about before he takes his big blind?
No, in the big blind.
I don't know if I agree. Because
you're gonna put an extra blind in the hand or 2 blinds in the hand.
You're gonna put an extra blind in this hand, but you have the knowledge that you're not gonna owe that extra ante again for a full lap. I think it does the opposite. I think it allows you to have more patience in your late position, middle position hands, because you know you're not losing X% of your stack every single hand, but you have one of the next 6 hands to choose the best of them to put it in.
But John, I mean, that being less than, obviously, anything, almost a tenth of the big blind.
Yeah.
Does it effectively change your play when you're that
Okay,
short?
Right? I think it's a minor
All right,
difference.
let's say you're at 3, 6, and 12.
Okay.
All right. Now the big blind is a 10. Let's say it's 10-handed for a second. Okay.
Okay.
So and you have 10 big blinds at 12,000.
Okay.
Now when the big blind comes to you, you're putting in $3,000 on top of your big blind. So you went from having 10 big blinds to having 6 at that point.
This is my argument. Back up 2 hands from there. You have the knowledge that you are going to be dinged this oversized amount in 2 hands time. I think it encourages you in those 2 hands to play a more speculative holding before you get dinged that amount. Once you put it in, it's just gone. You have to treat it like it's gone and that it's not yours.
But here's the other thing, too. Because now you only have 10 big blinds to say, and you're shoving now, the guy who's the big blind is already committed much more money to the pot than he normally would have. He's committed an extra 3 blinds into the pot that he wouldn't have normally committed. So you're giving him better odds to call when he might fold your 10 big blind shove there, but he's already got 3 of those 10 blinds in the pot.
Just because it's the only difference is that it reduces your effective stack. You go
the
from
amount of money he's committed to the pot.
It's a logical fallacy.
No,
all it does is reduce the amount of money you have in your stack. It's not yours once it gets put into the middle.
Do you want to get into this area? Yes.
Okay.
Because if I have,
I agree, it changes the way you play. Absolutely.
Completely changes.
But I disagree with the position in which it changes your play.
Oh. Craig, here, I'll let you.
I think it's me and Craig against Harry and Dallas here.
We're going to have Harry jump back on here to offer his insight
hit
on
me
the
with
big
some
blind.
wisdom,
Anyways,
cuz.
some good, hold on real quick. Real interesting dialogue here on the big blind, Andy. And we're already some dissension about how this changes the play. We're all agreeing that there is a change potentially to play. Now, my statement, or my opinion on the big blind, Andy, is yes, there is definitely going to be change mathematically. We can't deny that. But this is now just a fundamental change that's going to help speed up the game. And the changes to the game we will adapt to as players, but we've now have a faster, more enjoyable game, not slowed down by tournaments waiting for people's ante. That's caused a lot of problems. Anyways, so let's get back to so there's no doubt that there is going to be change. So we all agree with that. We're going to debate what the change is.
As far as the nature of the change.
But nonetheless, we're all agreeing that there's potential benefits here to potentially having a faster game and less errors with antes. So, Harry, go ahead and please give us your opinion on what this change is.
So the way that it impacts the speed of play, I agree with what you had to say, and that I don't think that that overrides the other way
in the structure.
Yeah, exactly. So what I think the argument from my perspective, what I heard was that what you guys were saying is that the big blind's range becomes wider because he has a larger percentage of his stack in the pot. Is that the argument that's being made?
That's Dallas's argument. My argument is that your early position range widens because of your knowledge of losing a significant portion of your stack the very next hand or 2 hands time.
All right, so Okay, so absolutely, when the big blind has more money in the pot than they would have in the first instance, their range should widen slightly because their equity has changed. They now need, they have more money of theirs that's in the pot, and so if they have just a big blind's worth in the pot, then they need to evaluate how much money they need to put in.
No, but the odds are still the same as what you can win.
Yeah.
So yes, their stack is effectively their stack is effectively shorter, but their odds to call are still the same as if everyone had put in the money.
The only difference is that
you know what I mean?
Yeah, your effective stack is reduced, right? Now, your effective stack is reduced. So the cold hard math, let's say you folded every single hand from your small blind all the way to your next big blind, right? And now you're in the big blind. You have the exact same amount of chips that you have put into that orbit.
True.
There's this exact same amount of chips that have been put into that pot. Also true.
John, I'm going to jump in here real quick.
Okay.
Very interesting timing here. We have the poker boss that joined us in the chat here. So what's up, Sean? McCormick? We were just giving you the props regarding the big blind antes. So joining in the middle of the conversation, Poker Boss, we are having some debate as to how it affects the play of the game. Obviously, we're all in agreement that the speed of the game is going to be faster, but we're talking about some of the potential mathematical changes to when you play, and specifically we're talking about short stack. So, Sean, thank you for joining us. Your timing is impeccable. We're currently giving you props. We're talking about big blind antes in tournament poker. So I'm going to turn it back over to
to recap my point. If you talk about the entire duration of this orbit, from where you folded your small blind to where you're next in the big blind, in that 8 hands, 7 hands, 9 hands, however many it is, you put the exact same amount of money in the pot, whether it's an individual ante or whether it's a big blind ante. The way it comes out of your stack, yes, that is different. But the amount of money that's in each individual pot is exactly the same.
Right,
And you
and
arrive in the big blind with the exact same amount of money in the pot and the exact same effective stack. The only difference is if you are under the gun the hand before, you have significantly more money than you would if it was an individual ante. You're talking about a difference of less than 2 big blinds in every single scenario outside of no limit deuce to 7 single draw.
If you're in the under the gun situation, then perhaps your range should open up because you know that the next hand you're going to get hit with a big blind that's much larger than the size of the big blind was.
But normally. You can win no more money in the pot in the big blind, whether it is a individual ante.
Yeah. But even though that money is yours, even though you're the one that put that ante money into the pot on the big blind,
it's no
once
longer
it's in
yours.
there, the pot size is
it's not yours anymore.
Well, it's not yours anymore, right? And you're in the same situation that you would be if you were facing a raise from the big blind in a normal structure.
And that's
here's my argument.
Money in the pot would be the same.
Even
though it's yours, it shouldn't matter. It feels like it matters more, but
to John's point, you know, we have. There's definitely going to be changes to your play in some positions, especially in the short stack, knowing that blind is coming. But I guess this is where I go back to. Everyone now knows this is coming. This is now the case. This is now the way we play potentially going forward, and you adapt your play accordingly and move from there. So it's a change from the current way we do things, or the current way things are done, I should say, and then it becomes a situation where this just becomes baked into your strategy.
I think you guys are missing the point of my conversation.
Okay.
You're talking about your chips, okay?
Yeah.
Now, let's use 3, 6, 12.
The level's irrelevant.
No.
The effective stack is relevant.
We're playing 3, 6, 12.
Okay.
You have 12,000 in chips.
You
Just
ever
10
back
big blinds.
raise?
Okay. I'm the big blind now, right? 10
I
10
never
the
believe
table.
back raise.
I have 4,200 in the pot now as opposed to 1,500.
Okay. And how much of it is live?
All of it's
1,200 of it is live.
No, but I've committed 4,200 to a pot that I've committed 4,200 into. I am much more likely. If I only committed 1,500, I'm not gonna. I may fold for a hand when it's 12,000. But because I've committed 4,200 to that pot, I am much more likely to call off the rest for that pot because now that's 4,200 is my money.
But you shouldn't.
I'm not saying that you should.
You might be.
But
because that's what I mean. It feels like.
Right, but I'm not saying you should, but I think that players will do that because they'll consider that their 3,000, so they're in for 4,200.
But Dallas, in the very next hand, someone else is putting in the 3,000 for you.
I understand that. That's what I said. I'm not disagreeing with that.
Yeah.
But
I agree.
players-
that.
Oh,
That's,
so
that
you're
it's
saying
a
it doesn't actually make an
logical
effect, but it does in your mind.
Right. People think that's I put in 4,200 into the pot. So now.
Well, I think that's
But the
exploitable.
pot
I think
size
that's
is exactly the
exploitable.
same as it would be under
I
normal
agree,
circumstances.
but a
so
lot
your
of
math
people-
should be the same. Your ranges should be the
100%.
same.
But I don't think that people will look at it like that. They'll think, oh, I put 4,200 in this
Well, that's a
pot,
mistake.
and he's got 12,000.
I think that is what we talked about last night. That is an exploitable mistake in a player's game.
100%. And I think I think it will change, especially the more recreational players. It'll change their viewpoint on what they're calling with because they think that they put 4,200.
Well, that's got to be good for the regs if they're going to make that mistake regularly.
But
Because it is a mistake. Your range shouldn't change.
Well, the
because
one thing
pot
we like
size
about
is
the
the same.
tournament poker is that it should be an even playing field. And I think that when you do that,
Well, they're all. Yeah.
But I would agree with John. The actual change to your play occurs in your early positions prior to knowing that larger now big blind, or that position where the larger amount of money is coming in. I think that changes your potential play. But you're probably in a situation where doing that, you're so short that the play shouldn't change anyway.
Yeah. We're talking about situations. Huh?
So anyways, that's a good dialogue here on the big blind ante. We'd love to hear
I
your
don't think
chat.
it
And again, we're
changes
chatting out.
I think it should change. It's going to change the way big blinds play their games. Because they're going to feel like they have more money.
But anyways, let's go shout out to the poker boss, Sean McCormick, jumping in the chat right as we started talking about the big blind ante. Good on the Aria, like I said, they're out trying something new, and it seems to be successful so far. And people do like it so far, from what I understand. Again, the chat there, Dallas' argument is perception versus reality. It's like the dealer that pulls in the common bets versus the dealer who doesn't. Is the pot really bigger? No, it put to the rec player. It looks big.
Exactly, but I think it will change people's perception of what's really happening.
Look, in the card, in here, guys.
What do you mean? Brian always had it. I always have the 3 gap. That's what I always have.
I always have 3.
Yeah.
Did you add
Believe it or not, Lance and I
Are you
played.
sure?
If you look at every hand I've 3-bet this entire time, it's been
You
completely
folded the
trash.
straight there because there was a flush and
That was the
a
best hand.
paired board out.
What the hell, man? Well, why do you get to play like that?
Because I had a gutter.
Jason in the chat, how you doing, sir? Nice to hear
Like,
from you.
barreling off like crazy?
Again, got just a few more minutes left on the stream, a couple more hands. We're going to shut it down for night. Again, play has wrapped up for the evening. We are on the live stream with you here doing a commentary. So almost done for the evening. We're back in 2 weeks.
Yeah, we're going to be here October 8th and 9th with a 5-5-10 no limit hold'em game. And again, if you want to be in that game, please contact us at BellagioPOTS on Twitter or poker at
I was very happy to
BellagioPOTS.com.
lose like
Send email.
5K.
I'm your host, Dallas Scott, co-host John Harden, Director of Poker, Race, and Sports Operations, Craig Lump. Can we just make this something short? Well, I mean, like, really.
What fun would that be?
I thought too. I was like, I'm
Poker
about
Director of PSB.
Interesting one here.
PSR.
I like to call it the director of the non-smoking section of the casino.
Although you're snubbing the restaurants by doing this.
Well, that's not casino; those are
Oh,
restaurants.
you said
Yeah.
casino.
Hey, but
Okay.
he's
The,
right.
the
He was like,
non-smoking gaming areas.
Yeah.
I'm gonna bet
5s and trays. No.
$360.
Yeah. 5s and trays in the gutter
Lance is
against.
probably calling this, right? Just check back on the flop.
It's an interesting one. It folded to Lance, and Lance just limped in the cutoff, and it went a bunch of limps, and then Joe decided to raise his option, and then check flop and lead turn.
Joe gonna give up here.
I thought I honestly thought it was 15 minutes.
I can't bet check.
Shut down.
Queen high.
Very high, no good.
3.
Three.
Yeah.
3.
8-3, the kicker.
I mean, I'm sorry, I raised queen 9 suited against 6-3. Damn.
I hate when I raise the best against
All for the back.
I'm sold 2 more hands, gentlemen. 2 more hands.
Oh, good.
Dos más manos here on the stream.
Again, this is Bellagio Poker Strips. I'm your host, Dal Scott, John Harden, and Craig Lump. Don't forget to join us for our 5 Diamond World Poker Tour Classic, November 24th through December 10th. Again, if you want to be on the stream, our next one is October 8th and 9th at 7 p.m. Pacific time. It's a 5-5-10 no limit hold'em game. Poker at Bellagio. At Bellagio Poker on Twitter and poker at BellagioResort.com on the email.
You can check it out here in the chat. Again, thanks to our moderator, Harry, keeping us in line tonight, getting us these stats and random facts.
No, what we should do is just match it and then flip for it.
Yes.
All right, so it looks like we might have some fireworks here. We've got 2 more hands remaining.
Here's what they do.
They're not even concerned with the second to last hand. They're concerned with the last hand. How much money can we shell in the middle?
Well, here's what they do. Like when they know the game's gonna break, if nobody's won the button money on the hand, here's what they do. Everybody matches it, and they just run out of hand and play a card.
You have to match it, and we'll do a PLO flip.
Ooh, I like that.
Oh, PLO. They're gonna do 4 cards.
It's like the knit tag. You know, you just don't get
The knit tax. We got a Broadway draw here against under pair and third pair.
Joe wanted it.
Look, Art
I
bet.
just want Art to pay. That's all there was to it.
Looks at it.
Win an open from Art here.
All right, there you
I had
go.
the wrap.
He c-bets and picks it up against 4 players.
Lost
One
out.
more, one more. Well, this one is the last one.
By the way, we can still play. Right?
You were always more than
Oh,
welcome
that's
to
it.
continue playing, boys.
She just said that's it. What? I thought it was pretty shit straight.
Would you guys still like to do that?
No, wait, we're
Go
going.
ahead for the button money.
Oh, I wasn't.
You're gonna flip for the button money? All right. go
No,
ahead.
All right, looks
Oh,
like that's
no.
it for the evening, guys. We're gonna flip the button money, call it a night.
We're not going to get a sweat of the button money.
All right, we gotta dock our producer Matt's pay here. How do we not like? So everybody's gonna put in a hand, match whatever was on the button, and they just run it out. All right, again, guys, thank you for joining us on Bellagio Poker on the Strip, aka BellagioPOTS. We'll see you again October 8th and 9th for the 5-5-10 no limit hold'em game.
Have a good night, guys.
Good night.
All unless it's big.